fight. We don't have to kill. Everybody in the whole wide world really just needs to chill. No, we don't have to fuss, no.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Just Chill with Oliver George. This is episode 111. And how's your summer been? That's right. After a very long hiatus, we are back. And I knew that we had to get somebody that would really jive well here in the studio, somebody I knew I could get along with to get things back up and running. So I've invited someone who's actually been a brief guest on this show before, but we're going to do it a lot longer version this time. So before we get into it, though, I want to remind you, if you are watching this on YouTube right now and you would prefer audio only, maybe you want to listen to this on a jog or while you walk your dogs or something, you can get it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other places like that. If you're listening to me on one of those, though, and you didn't know there was a visual side to this show, even if you have no intention of watching the visual version, I would really appreciate if you come to the YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. We don't have a Patreon or any of that, so it really is the only way to support the show, and I do very much appreciate it. If it's just your first time joining in or you've been a long-time listener or viewer, thank you so much for your support. If you want to reach out to me, maybe with a cool guest idea or some general feedback about the program, you can hit me up on social media or send me an email at justchillpodcasting@gmail.com. Wow, that wasn't so hard. That came back pretty naturally, that part. Anyways, back to the guest, the man of the hour, as I often say. He is someone who was actually one of the guests at our live 100th episode that we did last summer here at Yuck Yucks, Ottawa. But those were 20-minute brief little mini interviews. So I knew I had to get him back in here because he was absolutely hilarious. This comedian, he co-produces a great show here in Ottawa at Poor Boy alongside Dylan Parker. He is one half of the possibly defunct Nut Brothers. We'll have to elaborate. Unless I would talk to you, I think
You're
you told
bringing them up.
Well, I don't know. I'm curious. I've never seen the performance, but I've heard a lot about it. And he's also a formidable roast opponent and a really talented cartoonist. So I'm really excited that he's here. I'm talking about Mr. Jeff Davis. Thank you so much for coming, dude.
Oh, thanks for having me.
No, like I rewatched the live segment that we did from the 100th episode, and you were so freaking funny, man. Like every turn, I knew this would be like a walk in the park if I had you in the guest chair.
Yeah, first time in the old nerd cave.
Yeah,
First time was a Yuck Yucks. Remember that was very fun. That was
we didn't know what to expect. Like we had never done anything like that before. But you see lots of people taking their podcast on the road or doing live in front of an audience, and I think it went like well overall.
I think so. Yeah, it was great.
I remember it took a bit to get going, but you actually were the person that really cracked the audience open, so to speak. No shade against Kia, but just something about when you
Full
came out.
Full shade against Kia. You hear that, Kia?
No, we love Kia here too. But something about when you came on, you just really, really got the audience roaring, and I appreciated that.
No, yeah, it was a blast.
Well, first of all, do you have anything you want to plug? Is before I get into anything else, I just wanted to give you that opportunity.
Nah, I mean you mentioned Poor Boy. We do that. The show.
Poor Boy, which is downtown.
Downtown.
So Somerset or
on Somerset.
Yeah. I have to admit, I have been there, but I've never been I went there to eat once. I never actually have been to one of the comedy shows.
How was the food?
It was good from what I remember. This was quite some time ago,
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to make it out for one of the shows. It's just, there's so many rooms around town and life is busy,
I get it, yeah.
But kudos to you guys for keeping that going. How many years is it now?
Yeah, I think we hit 6 years in August.
Holy shit.
Last August, yeah.
Which is really good for an indie room because
It is. It's almost too long. It's almost pathetic of us to keep doing it.
No, not at all. No, it's a great spot, and people seem to love signing up for your spots there. So, I mean, I've seen a lot of indie rooms come and go, and that's one of the ones that's like a staple now.
Yeah.
And didn't you guys get Craig Robinson drop in too?
Yeah, he came in real quick with a quick spot. That was fun. He just kind of read off his phone. I think someone told him stuff about Ottawa, and he brought it up.
Still, like for him to come to like a small
it was
room
great.
like that.
No, I loved
awesome.
it.
Yeah.
It's great that he was doing like open mic stuff at an open mic.
Workshopping. Yeah.
He was trying stuff out.
Kind of blew everybody's mind. You don't expect to see some big star like that in Ottawa very often.
Yeah, then after that, it's a huge drop-off. Then it's like Tavis Mapleston.
Tavis is great.
He's great, but he wasn't in the office.
He doesn't have that star power yet, I guess. I actually kind of do want to know about the Nut Brothers before I forget to ask you about that, because this is you and past guest Emmett Morrison, and you guys ruffled some feathers with this act.
I guess, yeah. It's.
What is the premise here?
Well, it started off at an open mic called Ralph's.
Okay. Oh yeah,
it was very bad,
It's
right?
Fat Albert's, right?
Yeah, it's attached to Fat Albert's.
Yeah.
Which for a place called Fat Albert's, you'd expect the food to be good. And I know, the place is just closing, so I don't want to be rude, but it was terrible.
Was it
food.
Liam was running it at the time or no?
It started off as a ruckus thing,
Yeah.
and then Scott Yarwood took over. No, who took over?
What happened? The ruckus seems to have died down.
Yeah, I think they slowly humbled and realized. Yeah, they came in hot. They came in piping hot during COVID. Opened like 5 shows.
Yeah.
And now I don't even know if they're.
Logan Brown's still all over the place.
Logan Brown's doing
man
his
is
music.
A machine.
Kia's still doing Strip Joker, and Liam is selling cars.
Yeah, he made a big career shift.
Yeah.
I saw that. You know who I saw on Facebook the other day pop up, people you might know, and I was like, oh, this motherfucker. I had completely forgotten about him, but Spence Charles.
Oh,
Remember that dude?
yeah.
He used to wear the banana suit.
Banana suit.
He just
Eccentric
disappeared.
fella. And then he like popped back once or twice, like I see him at a show, and then he just leaves again.
Crazy. Yeah, you
Yeah.
never know who's gonna stick it out.
It is weird when someone comes back and sticks around. You're like, oh, okay, you're back.
Yeah,
Cool.
I feel like that every time I go to do stand up, it's coming back. I'm never consistent enough. So, okay, yeah. So the Nut Brothers, though, how was the origin of this, and what was the premise for?
So it was
stage?
Ralph's. It's a bad show. Hardly anyone's there. And I think we were going to co-host. And before the show, we just quickly said, okay, we'll do characters. I'm Ralph, you're Ralphie. We own a nut store.
Ralph and Ralphie. Okay.
And so we just went on stage and just did whatever we wanted. We didn't care. And that's kind of how it just started. And then it's just, now we're just we made hats. We made a logo, wrote on the hat, and then we just put a hat on and we go on stage and just say that. And then we just start being aggressive and yelling and
Throwing nuts at people.
and
I
do
thought
it.
you told me.
Well, I think we threw walnuts
At
once
one
at a
show.
strip joker
Okay.
that we were escorted off of. We were god mic'd by Liam. To be fair, we're being assholes.
Okay, so it was
We weren't
legitimate-
stripping. We refused to take our clothes off, and we threw walnuts at people. So we get it.
Yeah.
We're just, I don't know how to describe. I don't know. It's not really comedy. We just, I think when me and Emmett are done, like really tired of trying to be funny on stage, we just do that, just to like blow off some steam,
So
and it kind of became a thing for a minute.
Didn't you say the act was banned from Yuck Yucks?
Yeah, we're not banned, but
But the Nut
the
Brothers.
Nut Brothers are banned. Howard banned the Nut Brothers.
I'm pretty sad I missed these shows. Sounds like
That one wasn't even so bad. We gave out cake.
Oh, that's not
We
bad.
pretended we broke into everyone's cars. It was pretty tame. It wasn't like crazy.
Still.
Yeah, it's just to improvise but not worry about being funny. We just be stupid.
I'm sure there was still a lot of laughs to be had.
Yeah, I mean it's silly stuff.
Well, and you guys are both really clever, funny guys, so I can only imagine two of you on stage together. Well, I do want to kind of mention to anyone who listens to this show or watches this show, I never really know how many like diehard fans we have. I throw out the email at the beginning of every episode, and we've received shockingly few emails over a 5-year period. So sometimes I wonder if I'm yelling into the void. I've had a few, yeah, but anyways, I wanted to give people an update because it has been quite some time. Say hi to my dad, or dad say hi to the audience. You know, it's been since June.
Hello.
Yeah, we had John Doerr on back in June, and after that, I kind of felt like, oh, that's a big guess. I'm going to put my feet up for a couple weeks, and it just kind of unraveled. One of the big issues was that my son and then subsequently my wife got whooping cough. So that shit lasts like a while. Even
Whooping cough?
Well, I like to throw in the hard H there.
That's
but
like
yeah.
that's like a Little House on the Prairie disease.
Yeah,
Whooping
exactly. I didn't
cough.
even know that you could get that. Apparently, you get inoculated as a child, but not as an adult so much. I don't know. Maybe you can speak to that, Dad. You're not a doctor, but you're pretty well versed in
I'm
medicine.
not up on my whooping cough vaccine information.
Well, let's just say it was whooping their asses because it gives you these crazy coughing fits that often lead to like gagging and sometimes throwing up, and sometimes it's like in the middle of the night my son would wake up and barf because he was just coughing so much, and very off-putting, and definitely not something that leads you to want to invite people to your basement to
Yeah.
come do a podcast and be like, oh, don't mind my wife who seems like she's about to die. So that was definitely a huge part of it, and then it kind of like
I'm just imagining being invited to someone's house. I walk in, their entire family's just having a coughing fit. Thanks for coming.
I'm like, no, they're fine. Let's go podcast. Yeah. Don't worry about them. They do that. Yeah, but that kind of turned into just the extended hiatus that we were forced into, then became kind of me sort of contemplating and reassessing. I talked to you on the way over here a little bit about it, but it's often a thankless job doing this, and it's like doing 5 people's jobs. I'm, wrangling guests, researching them, conducting the interviews, editing most of the stuff. My son helps me with some of it. Then whatever social media crap you have to do, cutting clips, and it can be quite exhausting. It's rewarding at times as well, but it just kind of reached a point where I was like, I definitely had the thought of, do I pull the plug? Like, do I just announce it's over? And that felt wrong. I was like, no, if I was going to do that, I should at least do like a finale episode or something like that. So I was honestly just kind of like hemming and hawing over it for a while, and kind of enjoying not having that fire on my ass of, I got to get a new episode up, or I got to,
Yeah. Once you stop, it starts feeling like you don't have to do it.
Kind of, yeah. And honestly, well, God, I don't think she's going to bail at this point, but I wanted to thank Angelica Scanura. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right there, but she is supposed to be coming to podcast this weekend, and we had originally talked back in May or something like that, and sure enough, when I'm in the middle of wondering, do I even want to do this anymore, she messaged me out of the blue, said, hey, I'm going to be in Ottawa October 4th and 5th. I'd really like to do your podcast. And it was just enough to kind of set the fire again. That said, moving forward, I think we are going to be sticking more to this kind of like relaxed. I'll do them when it works with my life. Because the other part of it was, my oldest 2 are almost 16 and almost 14. So that's very different from 5 years ago when we started, and they were like 9, or wait, oh God, am I going to get the math wrong? Yeah, 9 and 11. It's a world of difference having teenagers and just the amount of responsibilities and things. So anyway, it sounds like I'm just making excuses here, but
that's cool. Do it when you do it,
Yeah, it's going to be like if cool guests drop me a line, or if I see a really amazing opportunity to have someone super interesting on, I'm definitely going to do that if I can manage it. But I'm also going to try to take some of that pressure off, and my kids are only going to be the ages that they're at now. It's kind of a one-time deal. So I feel like we'll keep it going, but maybe I'll get more rigorous about it once they're off to college or something. And, anyways, that's kind of in a nutshell where my thought process has been with all that, for anyone who was wondering. But we are still here. We've got Jeff getting the gears turning again. I knew you'd be a great guest. Angelica's coming on Saturday. Again, I hope I don't have to eat my words if she gets the stomach flu or something. But
the whooping cough.
Yeah, exactly. Touche. And next week, we've got another guest planned, and that one's far enough out that I'm not going to name names. But that should seemingly be the finale for this season. So I wanted to get a few more episodes done in season 5 here before we take the usual Christmas break and all that. Or late fall break. Anyways, with all that said, let's get back to Jeff. I want to start with your youth, because we did kind of talk about that a bit when we were doing the one live at Yuck Yucks. You mentioned that you had a mom that kind of spoiled you as a kid.
A little bit. She liked,
And I've also noticed about your mom that she is like your number one fan, because after we recorded that and I started, mentioning that it was going up soon, I was getting emails. That's one person who did email me. Jeff's mom was like, when's that episode going up? Oh my God, I'm so proud of him. And one of her friends was like even messaging me, my friend's son, Jeff.
Oh, she's recruiting her weird friends?
Actually, no. Sidebar, her weird friend already knew me in a weird way because she was my manager at my first or second job in the Saint Laurent food court at a place that was just called Hot Dog.
Just called Hot Dog. Not even hot dogs.
No.
Just one hot dog.
We probably talked about this at some point on the show, but yeah, it was just Hot Dog. They eventually amalgamated with the beaver tails.
Hot dog.
Well, we had
Just says
burgers.
hot dog. Yeah, burgers what's called. I like that. Usually the hot dog takes the second.
Yeah, that's true. Unless you're at like a ballpark or something, I guess.
Sure.
That's the one place where
There's
the
very
hot dog
few hot dog
reigns
heavy
supreme.
places. Yeah.
We had smoked meat and a bunch of other things, but yeah, Hot Dog. I guess they were going for
Smoked meat's a better name for a restaurant.
Yeah, I guess.
Hot Dog.
They were all pretty bad. You could have been Hot Dogs or Hot Diggity Dog or something with
That's
a little
better.
more flair. Yeah. But anyways, she was the one who reached out to me, and it was a little bit of a trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
So your mom, a bit intense on the Jeff love, I guess?
Oh, yeah. She won't stop asking me about, if she finds out about like the dumbest, worst open mic indie show, she'll be like, how was that? I'm like, it was terrible. No one was there. What do you think? Don't worry about it.
Has she ever created like awkward situations with you, with friends or anything like that, or love interests or?
Not love interest. She's cool with that. She knows when to chill the fuck out.
Okay, nice. A useful skill.
I think Janelle Niles mentioned that my mom contacted her.
Oh, really?
On like TikTok or something. And like
Just to, hey, like, I know you.
see something
Jeff's
like
your
that.
friend.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's still sweet. It comes from a sweet place,
She's
so
a
you got to
big-
give
yeah.
her a pass.
I'll give her a pass. It's weird.
A little bit, yeah.
She can just ask me. She doesn't ask Janelle Niles.
That's true.
Janelle doesn't know shit.
Well, I mean, that's to be decided, I guess. Depends
About
how you
me.
feel about
I mean,
Janelle.
I don't know how much she knows about me.
Oh, about you. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought you were saying in general. I'm sure she knows some stuff.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm sure she knows stuff.
But not about Jeff and his complicated life.
She knows as much
Let's
as
learn
any
about that.
acquaintance. Sure.
So, did your mom like baby you to the point where you felt like when you were younger that she was almost like being too soft on you, or maybe you could have used?
Yeah,
more
I guess
strict
I
parenting?
was the youngest. And as a kid, I noticed. I'm like, I don't want to be a mama's boy, so I try to like run away. Not like actually, I never tried to run away.
But run away from that position of
Not
being
from home.
the baby.
I like my place. I like the home enough where I want to stick around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like tried to fight it a bit because I don't know. She likes kids. She likes to take care of kids, so she tried to take care of me too much.
For too long, probably.
too long.
Yeah. Well, how many siblings do you have?
I have 2 older sisters.
Okay. So you really are the baby boy.
I'm a little baby boy. Yeah.
Oh man. And what was the relationship like with your dad? Was he in the picture or?
Yeah, he was in the picture. He's cool.
Okay. I don't know why I got the vibe that maybe he wasn't for some reason.
Later on, he wasn't, but as a kid, he was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there a point that he like jettisoned from your life or?
I don't like in my 20s. We just didn't talk as much, so
Okay.
I don't know.
After your formative years, at
Yeah.
least, like not childhood trauma style.
No, far enough where it's like no trauma. It's just like, oh, there he goes.
Just doing his own thing now. He's
Yeah.
like, he's fucking grown up. He's got it. Jeff
I
can
guess,
handle
yeah.
himself now.
But no, he was cool as a kid. He was a funny guy.
I have a friend who recently his kids have hit that milestone where they're like going off to college, and he I think had a bit of a midlife crisis, and he was just kind of like, it's fucking me time now, because he had kids young, like pretty much right out of high school, and
So it's back to party time.
not even partying. I don't know. I think he just wants to just be able to do whatever he wants and not have to be accountable to anyone or anything, and just kind of be freewheel in life. I don't know if that's going to work out or not, but
That's fun. I do find those are like my favorite, like in comedy, in the audience, the best type of like are like the 50-year-old people who are like all drunk because like their kids are gone. So they're just
letting loose.
letting loose again.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite type of drunks.
Well, you're someone who commands the audience, I think, really well. You don't seem. I asked you about this actually the last time I saw you at Yuck Yucks, and I was saying, oh, does it bother you when there's a bunch of people sitting up close? And you said you loved it. And
I love it.
You feed off that like it's your lifeblood.
Yeah. If they could be on stage with me, I'd bring them up, but they have to sit.
But have you had any that went like totally wrong where you regretted talking to somebody?
There's just some people that just do not want to talk and they won't give you anything. So, and I don't want to bother. Like, if I can really tell they like don't want to, I don't want to do it.
But it never
So I
goes the
try
other
to
way?
gracefully step out of it. Sometimes if I just keep going, they'll open up. So that's good.
They realize you're not going to stop.
No one's gotten like mad. I think sometimes guys just give like really quick, blunt answers. And we can tell they don't want to. Like, no, yes. And it's like, oh, you grumpy old guy.
Well, especially if you're seated up front. I mean, I guess that's not always your choice.
No, I get it though. No one wants to be talked to. But
See, I
I
don't
do,
think that's
so I
true.
have to-
There's definitely the audience members you see where they get talked to and then they don't want to shut the fuck up.
Oh
And
yeah, there's those people.
They
but
think it's like they're part of the show.
I want to talk to
ongoing.
them the least.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, the people who try to joke back, it's like, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
Who's got the microphone?
Yeah, we're not Abbott and Costello. Quit trying to one up me.
Well, one thing I remember from when I chatted with you at Yuck Yucks during the 20-minute chat was you're really tight with your grandpapa, as you called him.
Oh sure, yeah.
And I wanted to know if there was like the best piece of advice he has ever given you that you took to really.
We're
hold
not a
close.
very advice family.
Okay.
We were like together. We had dinner all the time. We were always seeing each other. We didn't give each other advice. We just kind of hung around.
Well,
we knew we had it together. We don't need advice.
Yeah, I didn't think everyone would give each other advice, but sometimes the patriarch or the older generation will try to pass down some wisdom, you know? Especially if they see that the younger kids are struggling with something, they might try to impart a little bit of, this is what I did in your situation, or
I haven't gotten, Now that you mention it, I haven't gotten a lot of wisdom in my years.
From anyone? No?
No, they never, or maybe I wasn't listening.
That could also be it.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you after the show.
Oh, thank you. Finally,
My dad's got a decent amount of wisdom, I like to think.
finally get my shit together.
Okay, so then what were the formative experiences when you were growing up that led you to want to start getting into comedy? And also, I was curious if there was anything else that you wanted to be when you were growing up before you even thought about doing comedy.
I guess the biggest thing was I just loved comedy, and also I thought it would be a great way to get out of my shell. I was really shy.
Oh, yeah?
I was like really shy guy. Didn't like to talk to people. So yeah, I don't know, it just make people laugh. It just felt good. I just, as a kid, like they played Just for Laughs every day.
Yeah. I used
So I
to
just watched
it.
that.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And then I grew up and I realized that like so many of those were like terrible hacks. But I still grew up and I loved it and I appreciated it. And I look back on it and I'm like, oh, that guy, yeah, that sucked. But sometimes it was great. Sometimes it's Mitch Hedberg or John Panette.
Yeah. Oh, John Panette. He's hilarious. So when did you actually try to like do that for yourself and get out there?
Comedy?
Yeah. Were you like a late bloomer in that sense? Or?
Yeah, like October of 2016. It was like 2 months before my 30th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Just because I wanted to do it in my 20s, technically.
Yeah, okay, interesting. Not that I've done comedy anywhere near as much as you, but I also, when I did it, it was about 6 months before I would have turned 30. Same deal.
I didn't want to be that guy well into his 30s. So like, I'm finally going to do it.
Yeah.
But I was still pretty late, 29.
Yeah, well, compared to some people get out there when they're like 17 or whatever.
But again, yeah, it just took me a while to get out of my shell, but I just kind of forced myself to because I really wanted to do comedy.
Yeah, I mean, you saying that you're shy kind of blows me away because
I'm really shy.
I guess
to
like
the point where like
not when you're on stage though. You don't seem like it at all. You seem so like empowered and bold.
Yeah, that took a little while.
Yeah, I was gonna say that must have been quite the process to go from being someone who's shy. Do you still consider yourself somewhat shy and like social?
I'm shy. Yeah.
Okay, so that's got to be really. You really had to put the work in then to be able to pull that part out of yourself.
Yeah. I think it just takes a lot of understanding other people because it's like it's kind of like with wild animals. They are so much more scared of you. They're terrified. They don't want to be talked to. So if you have to talk to them, you got to come at them.
Dominant.
Yeah, I got to dominate them. I got to be the alpha of the comedy show.
Well, that's interesting though, because a lot of the time you see people that don't respond well in the audience. It is these alpha-esque guys and they can't handle the fact that they're being dominated.
Tough guys
in that regard.
sometimes are the most emotionally stunted fellas.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Oh yeah, I did make a young man angry at Yucks a couple weeks ago.
Was he buff, like a tough guy?
No, he was like a little fella, but yeah, he was trying to be too cool for the room. Made things awkward. That was fun. His dad was there.
Is he freaking out on you?
No, he wasn't freaking out. He was just like, everything I said to him, he kind of like had like a little snarky answer back, like I was hurting his feelings.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
And that's not fun for the audience then.
No.
You seem like
it was
you're
fun for
punching
me.
down.
I didn't care.
Oh, you
Yeah, it wasn't a great show, but I still talked. The audience laughed when it was funny, but then it was tense when it wasn't funny.
Matt Champ just came over here for board games on the weekend, and he was telling me that something happened there recently where someone on stage started saying really racist, like genuinely racist stuff, and then
I heard about that.
Owners were yelling at him.
He was reading off Jewish jokes off a piece of paper or something.
But
like
then somebody
jokes.
in the audience like was backing him up or something.
His friend Howard was
Crazy.
like saying like,
Get the fuck off
get
the
this
stage.
guy off the stage.
Yeah.
And his friend yelled at him, not knowing he was the owner.
Man.
That's what I heard. I wasn't there.
Yeah, I only kind of got the gossip on that a little bit, but that sounded intense. Damn. Well, good on Howard for trying to shut that asshole down.
I always feel bad when I miss a show where something tense or cringy happens. Every time I hear the story, I'm like, I was going to go to that show and I didn't.
Because you would have loved to be like a fly on the wall, sort of?
Just to watch, to check it out.
There's something really captivating about like a human being making a debacle.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I mean, unfortunately, it happens a lot of times with like crazy ass homeless people. That's when I think of the first ones in my mind.
Sure, but you want to more
But
like...
you can't look away, you know?
But a comedy club, it's kind of more like... It's real, but it's kind of more like it's not scary because it's like...
There's enough people.
It's enough people
yeah.
and it's... Yeah.
Yeah, I took
like
the kids to Montreal this summer because we rented a cottage in this little place called Saint-Anicet, which is, I think it was about an hour from Montreal, somewhere between here and Ottawa. But we went to Montreal and I thought, okay, well, we got to show them the downtown scene and go on St. Catherine. And this was, 4 p.m. or something. It wasn't like I took them there at night.
Yeah.
And there's definitely some fucking weirdos, man. Like this one lady, and to be fair, she wasn't hurting anybody, but we walked by this one lady, black woman who was just wearing really, really not a lot of clothing. And she was frantically dancing. And at first you're thinking she's filming something, but there was no device filming anything. She was just dancing up a storm. And again, not hurting anyone. But when we came back walking the other way, she had lost like significantly more clothing. She was just in tighty whities and a bra, I think, at that point. There was
still dancing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I guess it's like
Dancer closed up?
a slow strip show, I guess. I don't know. And then we saw another crazy dude who just came yelling down the street. And he said something. It was kind of hard not to laugh. Like you're equally scared because he was shouting really loud and he was shouting violent things. But it was so specific. It was like, I'm going to put you and Brenda in a fucking coma. Ian, or like he had all these like specific names.
All these names. He has a list.
This is not... Well, maybe it's just crazy talk, but it seemed more like it was based on real events, at least.
I'd hate to be Brenda and Ian.
Oh, exactly. We're like, who are these people? This guy's on a death mission here. But that was a little hard to explain to the kids. Like, I mean...
Yeah, this is part of life that you'll try to understand one day.
Well, it's one thing if you see like someone down on their luck who's maybe looking like they're a little haggard or whatever, but someone who's just like violently threatening to hurt people and no one's intervening. There's no police grabbing this guy. It's just like...
Just because I guess it just happens enough where it's like, no, this is fine.
Yeah.
He's not bothering people.
Stabby.
He's in his own world. If he steps into our world, then it's scary.
It's just fucked to think about like how people get to that place in their life. When you think about everyone coming out like a little baby, everybody's kind of innocent when they start out. And then like what series of events has to unfold for you to become that guy?
I think a lot of series.
Yeah,
a lot of seasons.
Yeah. This is season 34 of crazy motherfucker.
Yeah.
We also had a point where we were buying ice cream for the kids, and some dude just came up and asked for change while smoking a joint. And I'm like, my 7-year-old is right here. As much as I'm a proponent for weed, like, Yeah,
I mean, like if you're smoking a joint, it's not a good marketing strategy to be doing drugs, which cost money.
Yeah, well, that as well, yeah.
Yeah.
But especially when you're someone's kid, you're just like...
That too.
Yeah.
I was looking more like, as a businessman, I'm like, this doesn't work.
Yeah. How are you getting this shit?
You gotta tear your shirt a little bit.
Okay, well, I guess I kind of want to talk to you about cartooning.
Sure.
Because I really do love your artwork. I've told you this before. You have a really unique style, and I believe that's your only Instagram is Jeff Davis Draws, right?
Yeah, and I co-run the Poor Boy one with Dylan.
Oh, okay. But as far as people looking you up for your comedy, they're actually going to find a lot more of just your artwork.
Yeah, I put my comedy on like the stories, but very little do I just post. I have a TikTok, which I try to put stuff on, but I'm not really good with putting my stuff on social media.
It's a pain in the ass.
I guess, yeah, it's a pain in the ass, I
well,
guess.
that kind of relates to me taking this break with the show. It was like, that was another element of it was just like, I got so sick of being part of that rat race of this super, over congested, everyone wants to be seen all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and that's fine. I'm not like, do what you're going to do, people. But I personally was getting to the point where I was like, I just don't know that I care about trying to compete for people's attention.
That's where I am too. Where it's like I put myself online. I'm like, it's me, everyone. Watch me.
Yeah.
That's why I like live. It's like I was there, now I'm gone.
Well, that's why I like this.
I'm not
too.
posting
like,
anything. Yeah.
I like
an
podcasting.
episode.
I just don't like everything you have to do in addition to the actual.
Just like
fun
trying
part.
to talk to an audience, trying to get them to watch your content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, what a weird day and age we're living in for that kind of stuff.
I just miss the days where you could be famous and just have no contact with anyone that enjoys you or wants to enjoy you.
Well, there was definitely
unless
a different...
they have your address.
I was thinking about this earlier too, like all the stuff that's happened with Dave Grohl, right?
Oh yeah, I guess he
like a rock
baby
star
with someone
cheated
else.
on his wife. If that happened in the 70s, I don't think you ever would have heard about that until maybe when they broke up like a year later. It would just be like,
Yeah.
they got broken up and that's it. But I mean, I'm not trying to excuse that. It's not great to cheat on your wife when you have daughters and all that, but it's also kind of just more of just the contrast of like now compared to like a 70s rock band, the shit you could get away with.
Well, now, yeah, because his whole being a nice guy thing, that's his marketable thing.
Yeah.
That's who he is. He's Mr. Nice Guy rock star. So cheats on his wife. Now it's tarnished.
I'm sure he lost some fans over it, but
I think he did. It doesn't take a lot for people to not be your fans anymore.
to cancel you or whatever.
Because, like, in a weird way, like, they consider you a friend even though you're strangers. And so once they find out you do something you don't agree with, it's like instantly like, I hate this person now.
Yeah. And it's not like they're going to come apologize to you personally.
Being a fan of someone is weird.
Yeah. Parasocial relationships and all that.
creepy.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's definitely not good what he did. But again, it seems just like decades ago, it would have just kind of come with the territory almost, you know? Like,
Yeah, they got
going to do drugs and have lots of sex. He's a rock star.
Yeah,
like,
rock stars got that excuse.
Almost like, I bet back then the mentality was sort of like, if you're going to marry him, just know that that's probably what's going to happen. It was almost like the onus was on the woman to be like, well, you're marrying fucking Keith Richards. He's probably going to bang a lot of groupies or whatever. And it doesn't make it okay, but it's definitely, in that sense, I guess it's kind of good. But I heard that the Foo Fighters previously had controversy that I was unaware of, that where they were saying ages ago too, that AIDS was not real and that AIDS was like made up by the government or something.
All the Foo Fighters said that, or just one of the Foo Fighters?
I'm pretty sure it was the whole group,
Which
but
Foo
I don't want to
Fighter?
speak out of turn.
Pick your fighter.
Well, one of them's no longer with us, right?
Oh, no, we lost a Foo?
Taylor Hawkins, yeah, the drummer, he died like a year or two ago.
Shit, I didn't know.
You didn't know that, actually, honestly?
I didn't even know the man existed.
Oh,
the
okay.
drummer of Foo Fighters? No, I don't.
Well, he was pretty well known. They've been at it for 25 years or some shit. 35, maybe? No, 25.
You only know the other members of the band if you love the band.
That's true, yeah.
You know
I guess
the
I was a
front
pretty big
guy,
Foo
and
Fighters fan.
sometimes a second guy is famous, like a Slash.
Yeah. I think the reason that Taylor was more notable, or maybe more people knew him, was because you've got the Foo Fighters and the lead singer used to be the drummer in Nirvana. So everyone's kind of like, well,
That's
who's
true.
going to fill the
so
drummer
he's-
role that can, you know, impress this guy?
I understand
Yeah,
now.
That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, he died in, I think they were in Brazil or Costa Rica or somewhere touring, and the dude's heart exploded or something like that. Or maybe not exploded, but when they did the autopsy,
That's
he
a
had like
way to go.
an enlarged
heart
heart.
exploded in Costa Rica.
That sounds very rock star.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. But yeah, I think he was, they did a tox screening and he was full of drugs of some kind. But
That's my assumption.
he had apparently some enlarged heart that did not help out with anything.
Like the Grinch at the end.
yeah, kind of. That's exactly what I was thinking. Oh my God. So did you, back to cartooning.
We just mentioned the
I'm
Grinch.
going to jump all over the place. Yeah. Did you draw like as a kid, or is this something that you kind of,
Oh, I love to draw as a kid. I drew all the time. Yeah.
and the doodles turned into something more substantial? Or still
I'm
just doodling?
still just doodling.
Well, this is what I was wondering. Are you gonna-
I enjoy it more. It just looks a little better.
Do you have plans though to maybe do like a web comic or like a kid's book? Or this is what I was curious.
I did webcomics years ago. I had a bunch.
I just probably know that. You weren't easy to research.
Yeah, I like to I like to keep secret.
There's not a lot of stuff about you online. That's for sure.
I don't really post a lot about myself.
So you've done the web comic. Would you ever do a kid's book?
I'd be down for it, you know?
I honestly think it's like an avenue you might want to explore because your artwork is very colorful. I don't want to say, like, in a way it does have a grotesque.
It does. It's a little creepy.
It's like,
it's a little gross.
What's his name? Oh my God. One of the most famous people of all time, painters, Picasso-esque. Like,
You think it's Picasso?
well, only because you'll do like these weird sort of deviations from what a face should normally
I
look
guess I would
like.
kind of
And-
just, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
put
Picasso's a little extreme example, I guess, but it reminded me of.
I know what you mean. I kind of put the eyes on a different slant than
Yeah,
the
you have
nose
two
is
tiny
down
little
there.
beady eyes with like a giant Alf-sized
Yeah.
nose, or every character looks very different. But anyways, there's something childlike, playful about it that I think could really translate well.
Yeah, I've had ideas like that. Like back to my mom, she keeps bothering me to like, oh, you should illustrate a book for me because she likes to write poetry. So I'm like,
There you go.
I don't want to.
You won't do it, not even with your
It's
mom.
it's just so much work.
I mean, if she can write a poem that would make for a good kids book, then maybe you guys could get published and make a little coin off of it. Or
Maybe she should give me a down payment. Just give me what's it called when you pay a author before
like, my dad will probably know.
a stipend,
Yeah, or a retainer.
a retainer. Like
Okay.
I'm a lawyer.
Like a lawyer.
Stipend. I thought that. Oh no, I'm thinking of a per diem. That's like when you.
I'll
have
take a per diem, too.
allotted amount of money for the day, right?
I'll take them all.
Okay, so Jeff's mom needs to step it up.
She needs to cough up some
Well, you are a very talented artist, and you shouldn't give it away for free, especially in the age of AI art.
Especially to my mom. Not getting anything for free from me.
No, okay, fair enough.
She only raised me.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's she raised you too well. It sounds like, though, right? We've
Yeah.
already talked about that a bit. So
She tried too hard. She
Maybe
came
she
off
did.
strong.
no, I'm sure your mom's a lovely woman.
No, she is.
I actually
She will be watching this, and she will be contacting you. And you.
I know. I'm watching what I say. Yeah, because she's a for sure viewer. I wanted to show a book that I've been reading from the library just because it has to do with cartooning, and I'm curious if you know this guy. Dad. It's called Matthew Diffie.
No, I don't know this.
It's called Hand-Drawn Jokes for Smart, Attractive People. A lot of them are like New Yorker style.
Oh, okay.
But
But
then
I don't
he-
really know that style too well.
Well, just black and white and
Yeah.
single panel, and usually with a line of text and quotations at the bottom. But he'll do these cool things in between each chapter where he's sort of breaking down how he feels about the topic that you're about to explore. So it'll be, medicine or food or relationships or whatever. But it's been a really good read. So I just wanted to give this guy a shout out. I don't know when this came
Yeah,
out.
looks cool.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I think it's
Yeah, he's a New Yorker cartoonist. Yeah.
and I think I want to say it's at least the last decade or so this came out because there's some references that seemed way too modern to be.
It looks somewhat modern.
Yeah, so check it out, people. But I also bring this up because I'm that's another thing that I shifted my focus to. I'm finally trying to pursue making my own single panel comics, which I grew up reading Far Side like everybody else.
Yeah,
and
I was going to bring it
Bizarro.
up. Yeah, I just bought a bunch of Far Sides.
Did you read Bizarro too, or no? Those were pretty funny sometimes.
No, I didn't read Bizarro.
Did you? You know Bizarro, right? Yeah, those were weird, but I really like the art style. I'll show you some. And I've also interviewed a guy on this show who does a comic called Bogart Creek, which is similar single panel, and he's absolutely hilarious. So I'm finally going to do it. And I wrote down, I figured, okay, the first step I got to write down how, whatever premises I think I have. And I thought I'd get like a dozen, but I had like 25 because I started to realize that a lot of the jokes I've written in my phone over the years, thinking I would do them on stage, would be way easier to execute in just a simple drawing, and none of the pressure or anxiety of performing it. It's just like getting the idea down. And sometimes it's honestly better because it might just be like a fun little pun that you're like, well, how do I work that into a set, or how do I segue to a stupid pun that's going to
You visualize it.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, visualizing
Yeah,
it just makes you want to draw it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Draw it out.
Yeah.
You got yourself a joke.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. So stay tuned for that. I was also wondering if you might have any cool names for that comic strip. I was working with noodle nuggets because they're just nuggets that come out of a noodle.
Noodle nuggets.
Or noodle nugs for short, but I don't know if that's...
I was going to say name it after this podcast. It's called Just Chill.
Nah.
The comic.
I feel like it has to be at least a little bit funny or playful.
Well, then you got to go with noodle nuggets. You can't really beat that.
Well, I didn't manage to get... probably like a year ago or even longer when I first thought about doing this, I got an Instagram handle for Noodle Nugs.
Just to hold on, just in case someone else thinks of it before you...
Well, because Noodle Nuggets was already taken. So
Really?
I had to do Noodle Nugs with a Z.
what does noodle nuggets do?
I don't even remember, honestly. No, yeah, it's you'd be surprised if you have an idea that you think won't be taken. Somebody's already got it. It's fucking annoying.
Sounds like a bad food product.
Yeah.
Chicken nuggets, except they're like noodles.
I feel like I'd still eat those.
Yeah, I would, but I wouldn't
feel
tell.
good about
I wouldn't tell people about it on a podcast. I
The,
deny it.
the cartoon segue that I actually really wanted to remember to do here was I know at the live thing you told me you were a big fan of Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know about this, Dad, but there was a movie that was fully finished with Will Forte and John Cena.
Oh, the Wile E. Coyote one?
Wile E. Coyote versus Acme, which apparently they did the whole thing and all the people in it said it was going to be great. And they've shelved it for like a tax break for Warner Brothers or something. And I just could not believe that when I read it because it sounds like comedic gold.
I think it was a management change at Warner.
Someone just thought, yeah, but if
And-
you've got a
and-
finished product. Like,
Yeah, but they did the same thing with the Batgirl series, right?
well, apparently that was dog shit, though.
Well, whatever. It was in the can. To me, that's finished product. You can turn some money on. Somebody will buy it for something, right? But no, they said, and it was the same thing. By never showing it, they were able to write it off somehow, and they got big tax breaks. So they must have, well, for whatever reason, I don't know about this movie other than what I heard, the same as you, that it was some kind of tax thing.
They didn't think it would be worth the marketing costs or something like that.
Yeah,
It's the only thing I can think of.
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean,
Warner
I get-
Brothers, they really treat the Looney Tunes franchise like shit.
Yeah, it's
They
not
really-
like it used to be.
Yeah, they're really not respectful to these poor little cartoon characters.
In what way? You just think that?
Well, listen, people my age are going to be upset because nostalgia is such a powerful thing, but Space Jam sucks.
The original, you mean?
I loved it as a kid.
I have not rewatched it since.
I
was
look
a kid.
back on kids' movies I watched. Some suck, some hold up. Space Jam sucks.
It had Bill Murray, which is kind of cool, but
Yeah, he came in for a second.
yeah, I don't remember.
There's
it.
stuff that's fine. There's stuff I like, but great soundtrack.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one thing. It's
I
well
like
known
Wayne
for.
Knight.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad
he
he's
was-
getting work.
He's
That
been
makes
in
me
a few
smile.
things. He's not only
He's doing
Newman.
fine. He's getting some Seinfeld residual still.
Yeah,
better.
Space Jam. I honestly don't remember, but I remember loving it as a kid. I remember buying the toys and thinking it was super.
Yeah,
cool.
I had the twice some Monstars.
Whereas the new one just looks bad
The new one
with LeBron
looks
James.
pretty pathetic. Yeah, it's not even just Looney Tunes. It's just every single character they own.
Is it?
I think in the audience, I think the Iron Giant was there for
Oh,
some
that
reason.
I didn't know.
Iron Giant doesn't want to watch basketball.
No, people just like Easter eggs and shit. You know, it's like part of our culture now.
But it's no longer Easter eggs. Now it's just the content.
Yeah, it's not even trying
Easter
to
eggs
hide
used
it.
to be a hidden thing that was like fun for the fans.
Yeah, like the ETs
Yeah.
in Star Wars. Ever seen them?
E.T. was in Star Wars.
Yeah, and the episode 1, The Phantom Menace, there's like that council with all the people speaking from the different. And if you look, there's like a pod with 3 of the ET aliens. in it.
Oh,
It's pretty cool.
do you remember at the end of episode 1, there was like a slightly bigger pink Yoda-looking person? I was always so
No,
curious.
not
I'm
at
like,
all.
who's that weird Yoda?
There's a girl Yoda in that
Yeah,
one.
there is. Is it
In
like the
Yaddle.
girl Gremlin? The lady Gremlin with big ruby lipstick
Dude,
and a
I
dress?
just watched Gremlins 1 and 2 last weekend with my 7-year-old. And the first one's still great. I mean, they're both good in their own way, but the second one is fucking weird.
I prefer the second one.
Do
That's
you
the one
really?
I saw first. So
Okay.
I was confused. When I saw the first one, it was kind of more horror and less comedy. It was comedy, but it was like...
Yeah, it's
kinda-
definitely
it was
not a
kinda
comedy only. No.
A little more gruesome than I thought it would be. And the second one is just a big parody of the whole first one.
Yeah, I spoke to my brother about this since watching it. He said it was something like they were begging him to make the second one and basically bring in like a boatload of cash.
Yeah,
up.
Joe Dante.
And he
didn't
said,
want
I'll only do it if I can have like full creative control, and then did what he wanted to do.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of which, Joe Dante also directed Looney Tunes Back in Action. That Brendan Fraser one no one watched.
Yeah, I
never
kind of
seen it
remember
either.
that mid-90s, yeah.
No, early 2000s.
Oh, really? Okay.
This is back when Brendan Fraser was doing a lot of bad family movies like Dudley Do-Right,
Monkey Bone.
Monkey Bone.
Yeah.
Directed
He
by-
did George of the Jungle was him, too.
That was, I remember liking that
That
as
was
a
like his
kid. I watched it
breakthrough,
recently and I'm like, it's just a dumb Disney movie.
Yeah.
Nothing special.
Oh, my God. Fuck. What were we talking about right before that? I totally spaced.
Cartoons, Looney Tunes.
No, before George of the Jungle and before
Oh.
Brendan Fraser.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring Brendan Fraser up.
Yeah, he distracted me, I guess.
I
Damn.
don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I'm going to watch this later and shoot myself. Okay, well, TV shows is something I know you're very, very into and have been your whole life. So I wanted to ask you what you think is the show that had the best ensemble cast of all time.
Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, really? Okay, I thought you were going to go like classic sitcom or something.
No, I really liked the Trailer Park Boys. I just think everyone fits.
Yep.
There's no, like, yeah, there's just everyone really fits, and the people they brought on later were great too.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know, just everyone just is a great character.
They all play
You're
off
always
each other.
happy to see that character. And when I watch like The Office, there's some characters where I'm like, I don't care about
don't
this
care, yeah.
character. I don't want to watch this character. There's too many people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Trailer Park Boys keeps it pretty. The cast is not that huge,
No, it's not too huge, like a dozen people.
and the only time people don't come back is the ones who have like died, like
Yeah, like Phil Collins and
Or Philadelphia
Shitty Bill. Philadelphia Collins.
That's his full
and
name,
Sons.
Philadelphia. Yeah. Man, you don't watch Trailer Park Boys though, eh, Dad? Oh man, you totally should. It's one of those shows that like it just grows on you and grows on you until you're fully entrenched and you're
You're-
like, I fucking love this.
You're
show
in the
now.
world and you're just like, I love these guys.
Yeah.
I did like the Bubbles guy, but
Yeah, but well, Ricky's where it's at, if you ask me. Like
Yeah.
Ricky, everyone starts off thinking Bubbles is the funniest, and then they slowly realize Ricky's the funniest. At
Ricky
least
is
that's
the
my
funniest.
opinion.
Yeah, he is the funniest.
All the Rickyisms, and if you just look those up on Google, you'll laugh.
It's just the classic character, though, the comedy character, just the confident, stupid person
Yeah.
who refuses to admit how stupid they are.
He commits to the character
Yeah,
so
I love
well.
that. I love this type of characters.
Worst Case Ontario and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Well, what are the top 3 sitcoms in your opinion?
Are we talking like multi-camera, like
Yeah,
like laugh track?
Top
3?
I mean, you can take it where you want, but that's kind of what I was thinking.
I'm
And-
thinking when I hear sitcom, I think the laugh track, like
Same here.
the studio one.
And what's the most overrated one as well, if you want to follow up with that?
I guess you got to say Seinfeld
Is one of the
as
best?
one of the top 3.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would weigh in on that.
This is tough because I like so many of them.
Some of them don't have the, like, I like that you picked Steinfeld to start because just the longevity.
You just
should
kind of,
get
I love
points.
it, and you kind of have to. Like, yeah, it's great.
It's still such a
It's still-
cultural
it still
touchstone. Like, so many things get referenced from that show.
I might have to give it to that 70s show. That was really good. I really enjoyed the characters, and
Yeah.
Red and Kitty were so good.
Well, okay, this is part of my next question, but we'll fast forward a little bit because I was going to ask you about reboot shows. Have you seen that 90s show?
I watched most of the first episode, and I just didn't care. I just
Yeah.
don't care.
I,
I enjoyed them, and they're gone now, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with shows being gone forever.
it feels like beating a dead horse.
It's
kinda.
totally fine. That's why I won't watch the new Clone Highs. I love the first season so much.
forgot
I don't
they
need
brought
to
that
watch it again. It's gone. You made it 20 years later. It's a different show.
Yeah, okay, so I'm feeling the same way in general. Like when I watched the first episode, I was like, woof, like
Yeah.
other than Red and Kitty, like where's the funny?
Yeah.
But my daughter, who I guess, she was still 13 at the time, and she really, really enjoyed it.
Sure.
And I think just because the sitcom vibe, there's something comforting about the laugh track shows. But I think maybe it also made me think it's just because, well, this version's maybe not supposed to be for me. It's supposed to be for her generation.
Exactly. And that's who gets to decide if it's worthy in the
yeah.
future. So in 15, 20 years, if it's good and worthy, they'll still be talking about it.
Well, they
So,
got a
you know.
season 2, right?
Yeah, but
I think they got another one.
you look back
by the
on
way.
shows you hardly remember, and it's like, that was 6 seasons? No one watched that show.
Yeah, that's true.
No one talks about Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Well, I think we met.
Uh-oh. Is he wearing a Dr. Quinn shirt right now?
I didn't know if.
I don't know why I said that one. I think that one was pretty popular. That one, there probably still is a
That's
fan
kind of
base
what I
for
was
that.
thinking. Like, I feel like that was.
There's probably a
on
few
for long
Facebook
time.
groups.
People were digging it.
People are digging it. But, there's shows that, like, you completely forget existed. And that's why I couldn't bring it up, because they're kind of lost in time.
Yeah, well, and it does feel like a cash grab when they're bringing back shows. Like Fuller House was another one, and
Yeah. My
I don't
sister
know.
was really
What-
into that.
What about Matlock?
Are they bringing him back?
Her back. Kathy Bates, a female Matlock.
Kathy Bates is a
oh, so
female.
it's a reboot completely. That actually sounds pretty awesome.
Is it like his sister?
I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. It's just coming out.
See, I almost prefer that, or as opposed to reboots, I kind of like when they do like spin-off shows where they
That could
take
at
a
least-
character that
yeah.
like if Mo got his own show after The Simpsons was over, and they had drop-ins.
That would be
from,
the one.
A
Character to get a spinoff, it would be either him or maybe Skinner or Mr. Burns.
Yeah, because Mo's a little bit stationary at the bar unless he quits his job, and it's all about Mo like traveling the world or something.
Well, they had that episode where they made fake spinoffs. That was the Love-Matic Grandpa. where
Oh, like
Grandpa,
the 22 short.
No, this was they did 3. There was like one where Chief Wiggum moves to New Orleans and becomes a private eye with Skinner.
Okay, I think I vaguely.
And then
remember
there's
this.
the sitcom, The Love-Matic Grandpa, where Grandpa dies and his soul goes into the love tester machine.
Okay,
He
I
talks
do.
to
Oh
Mo.
yeah, at the bar. Yeah, I totally get something flashing back from that. Well, I thought you were talking about the one with all the short stories.
No, that's a
'cause
great
that felt
one.
like a bunch of spin-offs.
That was a great one.
Yeah, that's a classic. The
22 short films about Springfield.
yeah, like Cletus and his family, and
Yeah, Cletus one and the steamed hams, of course, was
Yeah,
just been meme to death.
yeah, it's a little overkill at this point.
It was funny, but they kind of killed the funny of the original material.
Like social media?
They
and-
kind of killed the soul of the original steamed hams
yeah, it doesn't hold up in the
It's
way that it
different
once
now.
did.
because now it's just kind of. I like what they do. They make all sorts of weird things online. There's one where they reanimated it every 5 seconds or 10 seconds. It would change an animation style. They do
Oh, so
really
it was the same
creative-
scene, but just
Yeah.
oh, cool.
It's really creative stuff.
That sounds cool. So what's the last sitcom then? You got 70s Show and Seinfeld.
I don't know.
I'm hoping for like a weird curveball in this last one.
I mean, there's some like I get into some like older ones. There's some 70s ones I like. I could give it to All in the Family. I think that's a really important show.
Never seen an episode of my life.
I also really like Barney Miller, but I don't think anyone remembers that one. It's about a bunch of cops.
Security guard
I
or something,
remember.
right?
No, they're cops. They're New York cops.
Yeah.
Abe
that was
Vigoda's
good.
in it.
That's right.
Oh, I like that.
I
guy.
really liked that one, but I don't think it should be up there for everyone else to see.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the top 3.
Not going to
but-
be like the Mount Rushmore of sitcoms.
Yeah, maybe Frasier, I guess.
Okay, Frasier. Yeah.
Frasier's pretty great.
And they brought that back too, didn't they?
They did. I
And-
didn't
Yeah,
even bother.
Right
Anybody?
now.
Did you watch it?
I haven't watched it, but I saw or read a bit of an interview with Kelsey Grammer the other day, and he said he really loves the character and he only wants to do justice to it, and he hopes it goes for another 10, like 11 seasons.
Well, I know they got Roz back, right?
They did?
Did they?
Yeah, she's on it. I don't think
David Hyde Pierce said no, I think.
he said no.
Yeah, and the dad died.
Yeah, and the dog too.
And the Moose is dead.
it's true.
Well, yeah, it's a long time ago.
Okay, you're
The
just saying
dog's dead,
obviously.
yeah.
Well,
You can tell if they replace him. That's not the same guy.
exactly. I wonder if Daphne's in it still. I don't know. I should look it up. Actually, I'd watch it.
I mean, if Daphne's in it, where's Niles?
Oh, they got married or something in
They
the
got
end?
married. Yeah, in the
it's
last
been
few
so long.
seasons where it's not good anymore.
Yeah, that's probably why I didn't see it.
Would you rather a show end before it gets bad, or would you rather have a couple terrible seasons at the end just to
Just
milk
to
it?
have a few more episodes?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I've seen. I was one of the few people who. I mean, I shouldn't say few people because it was one of the most popular shows on TV. But I always saw people trash talking The Big Bang Theory, especially. I think it was a lot of the time comic book nerds and geeks didn't like that they were being represented, which you think would be the opposite. It's like I don't know who was mad about it.
I don't even know if they're being represented. I think it's more of
or
a.
they didn't like the way it made.
I think it's non-nerds making fun of nerds. It doesn't seem like a really nerd-friendly show. It's more like a haha, these guys suck.
yeah, I guess I don't know.
I never liked that show. That's
I
too
only
much.
watched it here and there, but I remember thinking it was all right.
I could say
Or
you asked
getting
me
some
which is the
laughs.
most overrated. I was gonna say Friends, but it could be that one too.
Yeah, Friends is kind of the obvious one. Friends, let's be honest.
just-
the
out of
best
all-
seasons of Friends, that's a weird one because, in my opinion, the best seasons are season 9 and 10, which is usually when shows fall off. But it was like they got the money for better writers or something because that show just
They
go
finally
watch-
got better after 8 seasons.
Yeah,
they finally
warming
got
up.
it.
No, it's true though. Honestly, anyone who doubts that, if you watch season 9 and 10 of Friends, it's like some of the best episodes. Some of
Really?
yeah, man. The one where Ross goes to the spray tanning salon and he keeps getting sprayed on the same side.
Oh, I remember that.
He's getting the rules wrong, and it still makes me laugh just thinking about it. And there's one, I think it's the very next episode, where he's dating that paleontologist girl, but he's obviously still in love with Rachel, and Rachel's dating Joey during that
Yeah, didn't
weird.
he date Aisha Taylor's?
Yeah,
Tyler,
yeah.
whatever her name is.
Yeah, from Archer and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's there, and he does, I think, like her, but he's still not over Rachel. And even more so, he's just weirded out by the fact that Rachel and Joey are a thing, which I think the audience was weirded out by, and that's why it lasted for.
That's why I don't like it. It's
half of one season.
it's like a soap opera. I don't want to care about.
Yeah,
that's why I like
let's-
Seinfeld, because you're not supposed to care about their stupid relationships, which won't last.
Yeah. Well, Seinfeld does feel very much like it's more episode for episode.
Yeah.
There's not really a lot of overarching storylines or anything.
I hate the will they, won't they, like two people in a sitcom. It's like, I don't care if they fuck. Just I want to laugh.
Yeah,
I don't
just
care
get to the-
about the
make with the
romantic.
jokes.
That's why I hated that The Office with Jim and Pam. It's like, this ain't cute.
I never watched The Office.
That's fine.
I know. I always
I'm not
feel
one of those
like,
people that gets mad.
No, but I feel
It's a
left
good
out.
show, but
Like,
that's okay.
A lot of people, it's big in the zeitgeist. You know, people
It
talk about
is.
it all the fucking time. And
It's in there.
yeah, did you, Dad, or no? You watched The Office? Yeah, because you
And,
watched. I remember you having the DVDs for the British Office way before the other Office was on the air.
And yet I've never watched them all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's something really cringy about Ricky Gervais and those things. I watch them for a bit and I feel so uncomfortable. I have to stop
tough.
watching.
It's
What,
tough.
like the character is, or the acting?
No,
character.
The character.
Oh, he's just such an asshole, or
He's just such a
It's
cringy,
just- yeah.
delusional.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like Ben Stiller sometimes. In a lot
Just
of
makes
his
you
roles,
uncomfortable.
where you just
Well, at least
feel.
Ben Stiller's playing a silly character.
Yeah, that's true. But he's
Zoolander's a silly guy. You can laugh at his ignorance.
but he's often in roles where he's, getting into these zany situations where you feel like anxiety for him while he's
Yeah.
on screen.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. It's a socially anxious ridden dude. Yeah.
Did you ever see Duplex? I feel like that was
I
one
never
that went
saw
under
it.
the radar.
I know about it, but I never saw that.
I've
one.
never heard of it.
Yeah, it's Ben Stiller and I'm sure there's people out there who'll say it's terrible, but I remember enjoying it. It's him and Drew Barrymore. and they live in a duplex. And there's this old lady who's on the top floor or something. They're renting it out, and she starts off innocent enough, but as the movie progresses, she gets more and more just burdening them with little tasks and to the point where Ben Stiller starts to think that she's fucking with him on purpose, and no one really believes him. He always looks like the crazy guy, even though she's something like that from what I remember. And in the end, I think, spoiler alert, I think that she was actually working with her son to annoy the shit out of people so that they could get their deposit money and evict them, or not evict them, but have them want to leave.
Okay.
That was the...
Good, now I don't have to watch Duplex. I know what happens.
Well, there's some funny points that I think you'd still laugh at.
Some
but
good gags in between.
yeah, there's some good stuff. Get to the jokes, the kind of thing, you know? Yeah, okay, that's all the TV stuff I have. I was going to ask you if you like laugh tracks or what, love them or hate them.
I prefer them. Like, I like live audience reaction, but like in a show, it's just, if it's fake.
It shouldn't be canned laughter.
It's just, I don't like it. And I think Seinfeld pretty much used all live true responses, but I'm sure they peppered.
Most of the shows around that time, I think, were doing studio audience stuff.
Yeah.
Which has got to be a weird experience to watch a show.
Yeah, because it takes hours.
Yeah, they must not get everything on the first take.
And you have to laugh again after you hear the joke.
Yeah, but you get to see all the bloopers as they happen, so that probably
true.
adds some levity to the boredom.
I guess I'd do it once, although they don't really make those sitcoms
No, I don't think
anymore.
that's a thing anymore.
And I think the ones they are making now probably are canned laughter.
Oh, yeah, it's just...
Is 90s Show canned laughter? I don't remember.
It sounds like it, but I can't verify.
Yeah.
I guess it could just be really realistic sound effects. I don't know. Someone did point out, like, to me, the laugh track thing, though, that if you do fixate on it, it makes watching the show really weird. Because you start to just go, how did I not notice this?
And
How do I
sometimes
stop
you
noticing
hear
this?
one specific person's laugh.
Yeah.
And you can't. I remember when I used to watch the Drew Carey show. And there was this one guy in the audience that always go, ha ha. And I just fixate
What, he was
on
there
it.
every time?
I think maybe it was just canned laughter and there was
got
just
like a
one weird
season
guy in the
pass.
audience. Or maybe there's just one guy that wanted to watch Drew Carey
Just
tapings
diehard
every
Drew
week.
Carey guy.
I love this.
Oswald!
Drew! Oswald!
He's like, those aren't our names. we're
Mr. Wick! Mr. Wick!
Yeah, well, I guess Drew, it was his real name.
Yeah. I like that in the 90s. It was like, okay, it's this comedian's name.
Yeah.
Except now they're an exterminator in Tampa, Florida. And it's all their crazy friends.
Yeah, Norm had a show called Norm.
I liked Norm's show.
Norm McDonald. Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
Bob Newhart.
What was it
Yeah,
called?
too.
It was the Bob Newhart show.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
but that's
I got
like
two of them.
Yeah,
the
that's right,
something
yeah.
something show. That's not the same as just being like Bob.
But it was Newhart.
It was just called Newhart?
There was a Newhart and there was the Bob Newhart
okay.
show.
I
think
There was
you're-
one
I
where he
think
was
you're
a
right.
psychiatrist in the city, and there's one where he owned an inn in
Vermont. I
Vermont.
think, Yeah.
With his other brother Daryl guy.
Yeah, that's right. Daryl and my other brother Daryl.
Yeah. Come on, man.
That was pretty funny.
Isn't that in your notes?
No, not even.
Where's your Perfect Stranger notes?
And perfect. What is? I know that show. What is that? Though?
I actually don't really remember that one too much.
There's
Two guys,
so
they live
many
together.
Shows that have come and gone, and sitcoms even. Like, do you remember Wings?
I do.
With
Tony
the pilots?
Shalhoub.
Yeah, and the brothers that
It was
were
like
pilots.
Taxi with a plane.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But that
It
went
was
on for a
Taxi
while.
and Cheers. Yeah, I remember kind of watching it. Remember the John Larroquette show?
I don't think so.
John Larroquette plays a recovering alcoholic and he runs a bus station.
No. Okay. I can picture this guy now. He's got
Yeah.
gray hair even back then, right?
Yeah. He was in
Might have seen
Night Court.
Night Court.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was the horny one.
Yeah. That's a little before my time as well. They did just do a reboot of that too, though.
They did.
Yeah, I
It
think
looked
had
bad.
Pete Holmes was in some of it.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, well, he did like a
Was he
walk-on
Bull, the new
spot.
Bull?
I don't know. I think he was a guest character or
Okay.
something like that. Yeah. Okay, well, I want to pivot now to Halloween.
Ooh.
Since we're in the spooky season. These are just some questions that, Dad, you can weigh into. But what do you guys say is the best horror movie of all time? Since this is a very pop culture episode, we'll keep it going.
I guess if I have to give my answer, I really like The Thing.
Oh, John Carpenter.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
I like
the
it.
original?
Yeah, the John Carpenter one, yeah.
Yeah, because, well,
Oh, not the 2011 one.
it was
no.
still pretty good. I saw that one. I remember thinking it did it justice. Like,
I don't know. I didn't hate it. Like, I don't remember anything.
but you got to have Kurt Russell, right?
You just got to have... I didn't like the 3D, and I didn't like how the monster, like, it didn't hide as well. It just kind of, like, spooked you. It was like, here's the monster. No, it doesn't want to show itself, you know? But in
Yeah.
that one, it was like, it can't wait to turn into a creature and scare you.
Because it takes over people's bodies, or it just
It
shapeshifts
replicates
into
you.
Being, okay,
It
yeah.
kills you and replicates you, and then it acts like you, and then... it
But
can
they would still
replicate.
find the bodies sometimes of the person that was killed, and that's how they got wise to it, or something.
No, I think they take over the body.
Oh, okay. So they
Yeah.
do use it like a skin. Oh,
I think
okay.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's
Or it's only one, right? There's just the one.
no. It is one, but it
can split
becomes
into
many.
multiple people. Oh,
Yeah.
God. Yeah, clearly I haven't seen that.
Honestly,
in
I
a
don't
very
think the
long time.
rules are that well explained, but you kind of assume. That
I know
kind
it's
of
in
stuff.
Antarctica.
Yeah,
They're at
it's a
some
bunch of
research
scientists
station.
and helicopter pilots and stuff.
Yeah. That's good pick.
Yeah.
What do you?
Wilfred Brimley's in it.
For me, it's probably the original Alien.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I almost
Yeah.
consider that still more sci-fi.
We both picked sci-fi.
It really
movies.
rides the
It's
line.
certainly sci-fi, but it's horror too. I think
It feels like a horror movie because
Yeah.
there's a monster hiding.
That's true.
In
I'm
the
thinking
ship.
more of Aliens, which was more of like
Yeah.
a action movie.
And I think about the impact it had on me at the time I first saw it. Right,
It's 79, right?
uh,
I think that's when it came out.
probably yeah. And the other one was The Exorcist.
Oh yeah.
When I saw
Yeah.
the first Exorcist, I was, I think, 17 years old, and Joe Martino, a friend of mine, and I were in Toronto. Just went for a weekend, and we were staying overnight at the Royal York, of all things. And we went to see this movie after we had dinner. And I went back. I didn't sleep that night.
Well, yeah, you're in a strange
at,
room.
at all. I mean, it kept waking me up. It freaked me out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they advertised it back in the day.
people
They
were
would like
puking
film
in
people. There were
theaters.
like women running out of the theater crying.
Yeah.
It was great.
Crazy. You mentioned Alien. I actually got a really cool book at the library the other day when I got this one. And it's like a graphic novel of Alien, the first one, but the graphic novel is completely done from the original script treatment before it had any interference from corporate executives. And we got to change this. And like Ripley is a woman of color in this one, I think. Can't remember what race or whatever, but just certain things are different. The monster looks similar, but like definitely has its own. I'll show you upstairs
Yeah, it's-
after, but I'm looking forward to reading that. It's a really cool.
It's no longer the H.R. Geiger thing. It's kind of like a different design.
It has some similarities. Like there's some things where you're like,
It's his original,
xenomorph-esque.
probably his original drawings.
Or maybe there wasn't even a drawing. Maybe it was just a description, and this guy's choosing to
Okay.
go off the script's description. Maybe I don't know, but yeah, I'm looking forward to checking that out. As for my horror movie, I mean, you guys listed some really good ones. I'm trying to think of something that creeped me out like crazy. I probably should have prepared. I've never found like Halloween to be scary.
I don't like slasher movies. Those bored me.
Freddy Krueger, I guess, is creepy. Like the concept of not being able to get away from him because he's coming in your dreams, but. They all had that slasher vibe. Oh, you know what? I'll go with The Strangers because that still fucking creeps me out.
I never saw The Strangers.
Dude, watch it if you want to be scared. I mean, it's a matter of opinion, I guess, but have you seen that, Ed, or no?
Tell me more about it.
It's Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman, and it's basically just them the whole movie. And they go, I fucking love this movie. They go to like a cabin that belongs to his family, and the way that the movie really gets you, I think, is they spend the first half an hour making it about the romance or lack thereof between this couple because he's just proposed to her. She said no. And now they're at this weekend getaway and it's fucking awkward as shit. And he wants to go buy some cigarettes. He's pissed at her, but he still loves her. They still care about each other, but she's not ready or I don't know. But so you kind of get lulled into this like, romance thing that's going on, and then eventually he's like, all right, I'm going to get smokes or something like that to get some fresh air, and he drives off for a bit, and that's when things start to get weird. As soon as she's alone, she finds her phone that they showed her plugging in. Well, it's in the fire now. And then when these perpetrators start to show up, it's really, really subtle at first. Like she's playing some fucking creepy song on the vinyl. And then she's just, smoking a cigarette in the kitchen, and you watch this dude just walk up in the kitchen behind with like a potato sack for a mask, basically, with just like two eyes and like a line, but then wearing a full suit. And it's just so unnerving because he just walks in, kind of watches her, and then just walks out again. And the whole movie's just this couple being toyed with by this man, presumably his wife and their child, I guess, because there's one of them that's younger, but they all wear masks. So even at the end of the movie, you never get to see.
It's one of those movies where it's a creepy family stalking someone.
Yeah, I guess you could call them a family.
I've seen a few of those.
It's a couple and one younger.
When this movie come out?
I want to say like 2010 or
I
something.
might have seen that or one of the sequels.
They made a sequel, but
I remember
have
a
not
creepy
seen that,
family
and-
killer movie.
Yeah, I doubt the sequel's good if I know sequels. But this one was fucking crazy scary. And I'm going to do spoiler alert here because some of the twists and turns I thought were... Oh, it also has fucking Glenn...
Close.
No.
Humplick.
No. No, Glenn, what the fuck is his name? The dude who plays on Dennis on How I Met Your Mother. Or not
Glenn Howerton?
Yeah, not How I Met Your Mother. Fuck. I'm really fucking up my references here. Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Is it Glenn Howerton?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the last name I never would have come up with. So he's like the friend who's, the husband saying, hey, can you come pick me up?
Oh,
Like,
see the comic relief?
no, well, no, not at all.
Oh, okay.
No, he's supposed to. The husband who goes out or whatever, he has called this guy to come pick him up because he has to obviously leave the vehicle with her so she can get home. But he's basically decided he doesn't want to spend the weekend with her here after she's basically shown him that they might not have a future. And yeah, spoiler, halfway through the movie, he finally shows up when I think the other guy has just gotten back and he's wise now to what the fuck's going on. This woman's being tormented. And so they're hiding behind a bed with the fucking shotgun. And when they think they're about to shoot these people who have been harassing them, he blows his own friend's brains out. The guy just comes in because the music's playing. He's just creeping around the room to come and say hi to them, basically, and they shoot him in the fucking face. And then they're even more fucked up after that because they're still being tormented by these people outside, but now they've killed this
They
guy.
trusted the creepy music.
Dude, the whole thing is, even just reliving it through this is, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. And it's not one with like an ending where they get away. So another spoiler alert.
So you're afraid of being accosted in your home. We're afraid of aliens.
I mean, you're not afraid of being accosted in your home?
I'm afraid of all my friends being turned into parasitical aliens.
Hey, dude, that would scare the shit out of me too. Don't get me wrong. But I would not put myself in a position to be on a space station in the first place. So I feel like there's a lot more.
No, mine takes place in Antarctica. You can go there.
Oh, that's true.
Anytime you want.
Yeah, sorry. Well,
If you choose, you could be there tomorrow.
I would not, though. You
Okay.
know? Whereas choosing to be at your house, probably, I'm
a good
likely
choice.
going to do that. Yeah. So I don't know. I found that one really, really creepy. But let's move on. Best Halloween candy. Only can
Wow,
eat.
you're really bringing out the tough questions. I wasn't
This is just
prepared
two.
for this.
There's two types of episodes we do here. There's fun hangouts like this, and then there's like we're interviewing a whale expert or something, and then I do tons of research, and it's just a different vibe.
It's
but-
probably got to be one of the mini chocolate bars. I was trying to decide which one.
well, yeah. If you can only have this one candy for the rest of your life.
Really?
Well,
now
yeah,
we're doing
let's,
that?
Let's up the stakes.
That's totally
you,
different now.
You undermined my question. I have to up the ante.
Now
a
it's got to
little
be
bit.
so it's something that's considered a candy
that you would get as a treat on Halloween.
and I can only have that for the rest of my life.
No one's giving out
And-
big Turks on Halloween. Let's be honest.
Oh God,
So bad. You're
I
a
would
big
call the
Turk.
police.
They're like purple on the inside and super chewy. And
I used to like those. Yeah.
Oh, they're
not
fucking
chewy when they're
terrible.
fresh.
They're not good. Anytime. Fresh or not, they're horrible.
I guess I don't know, maybe like a Kit Kat.
Okay, that's pretty solid.
I mean, that's a
Nah,
that's a
get
pretty
on.
well, it's an obvious
I like
choice,
Kit
That's
Kat.
not a
but
stretch.
Give me a break.
I don't want an elaborate
slow
candy
as
for the
you
rest of my life. It's like once in a while you want a fun candy, but not every day.
Yeah.
I don't want bubble jug every day.
Oh, I thought you were just going to list other chocolates that are just too intense and too rich. Like,
Well-
Kit Kat's a nice sort of. I wouldn't
Yeah.
go as light as Aero. Aero.
I don't
kinda
like
pisses me
Aeros.
off. Aero, it's like, what are you? You're like a wisp of a chocolate. You're
Yeah,
not
it's
even
nothing. You
Yeah,
bite into it, you might as well not have.
And Snicks and Mars, they're
Snickers.
Snickers,
He really likes Snickers. He has a little pet name for them.
Snickers, and,
Give me a
and,
Snickers.
and Mars bars.
Give me a Snick.
They're
I'm just picturing calling to my mom now. Leslie, like, bring in the Snicks.
anyway. I think they're both too dense. Like they're too rich.
Yeah, they got too many layers of stuff
and
inside.
they're really heavy. Yeah.
A Kit Kat's nice and crisp.
Yeah.
It is a break.
Without being too airy.
It really is
It's
a nice,
nice
break.
light snack.
Yeah.
I thought one of you guys would pull out Reese peanut
Oh
butter
wait, I
cups.
didn't say my favorite.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So I'm going way back, but even when I was a kid, I always just liked the Halloween toffees, in the little
Those
wrap.
orange ones?
Yeah.
Are you
Those are the
kidding?
worst ones.
Just a lump of brown
a
sugar.
lump of brown.
If
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had an active YouTube's comment section, it would be furious at that answer.
Well,
I can
they're the
imagine.
best
a
at
rough one.
pulling out fillings.
I thought
and,
I was literally about to make a joke that if you say milk duds, I'm going to lose respect for you, and you
That's
somehow.
American.
Those aren't even the best
That's American milk.
movie
duds.
theater
Didn't even
candies.
have them. Yeah.
Well, whatever they are, Whoppers are the same shit.
That's like
It's all the same.
jujubes.
Malted. Yeah.
But that stuff inside is like poison. It's disgusting. Just the taste of it, I can't.
I don't like malted milk balls.
Yeah, I don't. Give me a junior mint in the movie theater. I'm down for those.
What's with all the American stuff?
Well, we have junior mints.
Okay,
up
I'll
here.
take some
now you do,
glossettes.
but junior, Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't born in
I'll take Glossettes.
Glossettes, peanuts, Glossettes, raisins, bridge mixture. Those are all Canadian things. Like they're either from Roundtree. There wasn't when we were
Henry
kids,
as well.
there wasn't Hershey stuff, and there wasn't.
We had the Hershey plant in Spitz Falls, didn't we?
Yeah. But I guess maybe I'm going
Again,
back.
I'm born in 85.
I'm going back too
we
far.
had
maybe.
most of the American candies. When I was,
Yeah, we had the American candy.
You can get some of the American candies. You still don't get them all, right? You don't get a Clark bar here. You don't get a
Payday.
Whatchamacallit,
Babe
all
Ruth.
these things. Yeah, Babe
Charleston
Ruth,
Chew.
Charleston Chew. All these things are American.
Abba Zaba.
Yeah, all the stuff you see on Seinfeld, like jujubes, when that fell in the
That's
guy's
true.
heart. Like we never had those. Right?
Well,
Jujubes.
you can get all that stuff if you go to like Sugar Mountain or those.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't have
specialty
Sugar
stores, yeah.
Mountains in the past, right?
No.
I did
that's
have a Charleston Chew there, and it's not good.
That's probably what
It's
I
too
know.
chewy.
American candy was always inferior to the
Subpar.
Canadian stuff because we were based on what they had in England, right? So we got all this excellent.
We got
sort of-
coffee crisp. Come on, that's
I
like
love a coffee crisp. I feel like our chip game is a lot better than the States.
ketchup,
We got all dressed,
all dressed. Yeah.
hickory sticks.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, honestly, we're pretty spoiled up here. I sent a package to a buddy in California, and it was just full of this kind of stuff, like coffee crisp, O. Henry, anything else. I'm sure he could find there if he went to some specific shop. But
Although I gotta say, Smarties suck.
yeah, I don't like Smarties.
Yeah.
M&M's all the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Smarties
What's the
are
point?
that candy coating's too sweet.
It's too hard. It's not fun to eat.
Now, did you know that in the States,
I
what
do
we
know
call-
this. I know what you're gonna say.
Okay,
You think I
what-
don't know what you're gonna say?
you're a candy aficionado, maybe?
Our rockets, they
Yeah.
call Smarties.
They call them Smarties.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
That's why there's no Smarties in the States.
You know Rockets, right? Yeah, so in the States, same packaging, but it says Smarties. But up here, because we had Smarties, they're like, I guess we got to call them something else.
Rockets is. I don't know if it's a better name. It's not a good candy, so it doesn't matter.
I'll
You
tell
don't like
something.
those? I don't
Those
mind
I don't
Rockets.
like those chalky candies.
I'll tell you something. When I was commuting to North Carolina, remember?
Yeah.
I'd go down there. So I'd always have to go to the budget at the airport to get my rental car for the week or whatever. And there's this guy, we kind of see the same guy all the time, right? He says, he said, you come here from Ottawa, don't you? I said, yeah. He said, listen, he said, could you do me a big favor? I said, what? He said, could you bring me down like a few O. Henrys and he had something else. I forget what it was, but they were Canadian. He said, we can't get them here. My wife loves them. She just loves them, right? So I went to Costco and I got a box of O. Henrys and a box of this other kind that he wanted. It's 2 whole boxes. It's, so I went down there. I got such great cars for like the next year and a half. Like I went from driving some 4-door whatever to I was getting yellow Mustang convertibles.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, Audis.
He knows how to play the game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
that's the
terrific.
bribe this guy was looking for, clearly.
I mean,
A box of Mr. Biggs and you're in.
yeah, that's all it took.
Mr. Big,
he
that's
was
not-
so overjoyed. Yeah.
Damn. Well, that's a sweet turn of events for sure. You're just trying to be a nice Canadian, hook him up with a
Yeah,
couple
I think I
sweets.
helped him out with a wife situation, so that's worth.
His wife's
that's
happy
worth-
with all those
yeah,
O.
it's worth
Henrys.
Yeah. You're asking for the Snicks, and she's asking for
Henry.
The, oh, Henry. Yeah, give me Henry. He's the only
That's not
real
what she
man in
meant.
my life. Do you have a best and worst Halloween costume experience from childhood or even adulthood?
Best.
Like
Man.
one that went off without a hitch where you were like, this looks fucking awesome, and one maybe you were forced to wear as a child. That
As a child, like, I think I was Michelangelo from Ninja Turtles for several years in a row.
Nice.
And that was back when you just had the plastic mask and like a little plastic like bodysuit.
Yeah.
It looked terrible, but yeah.
Yeah, the plastic masks for certain characters just look
And I think it was Bugs Bunny. And I walked around with a real carrot
nice.
just as a nice extra touch.
This is like a Bugs Bunny with just a hole for your face.
Just a mask, Bugs Bunny mask, and a gray.
Oh,
little
the mask.
Yeah.
I was pretty spoiled. My mom used to like make our costumes, so like she made costumes for me and my brother. And
Like what?
She made like Scorpion and Sub-Zero when we were in like grade 4 and 6, I think.
Damn.
I don't know. She made a bunch of turtle ones too, and probably the stuff I'm forgetting. But the Mortal Kombat one stuck with me because I was like, that's just cool to do at that age. Like some kids' moms wouldn't have even been letting them play Mortal Kombat, let alone dress up
True.
like the characters.
Well, the Ninja Turtle ones were terrific. I mean,
I don't really remember.
you don't, eh?
What did
Oh.
we do for the mask? So did we still just have the?
No, you had like the bandanas around the eyes and the whole deal.
Oh, you had a better one?
How'd they make our face look turtle-y?
Well, I don't think
Or how did she-
I don't think she sculpted a turtle face, but
Yeah.
the costume authenticity was right on. Like
Yeah.
the shells were great.
She was sewing them, yeah.
I'd hate to be at the same front door as you. You're in this nice
Yeah.
Ninja Turtle costume. I'm in a plastic smock.
Yeah, you've got like Bugs Bunny mask and a gray turtleneck. Shit. Well, any Halloween costumes that you thought were like badass, or any as an adult that you've come up with that you were really proud of?
Not really. I did a few as an adult. I tried to be Walter from The Big Lebowski.
Oh, nice, John Goodman.
I don't think
yeah.
anyone got it. I did get the glasses. I didn't get the clothes too right. I wore like a fishing vest. It looked all right.
I did a good Hunter S. Thompson once.
Oh, yeah?
Not for trick or treating or any of that, but when I was working at
That'd be great. A little kid dressed as Hunter S. Thompson. That'd be perfect.
hilarious. No, I was when I was working at a movie store, and they had a dress up for Halloween day.
Do you have his like long cigarette holder?
Yeah, I think I got one somewhere. I wish I still had it. They're kind of fun. Although I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. So.
But they are fun. It's kind of fun, like an accessory. Just, I don't know, just...
Well, and you don't get your fingers smelling like cigarettes.
Oh, I
as
guess
much,
that's
which
the-
was just kind of an added. You can even technically, like he did, he would hold it in his teeth, so the smoke's kind of not getting on the front of your teeth; it's just going straight into your mouth hole. I've heard people doing that with. Kelly was telling me about some nurses she knows that for coffee they'll drink through a straw so that it doesn't fuck up their teeth whitening
I guess
job
so.
or whatever.
That's-
So. Something I never even thought to do, though.
Drink a hot beverage through a straw.
Yeah, a plastic straw. You better not be too hot, or
Yeah.
it's gonna be melting some of that shit. Maybe.
I guess that's not... I'm trying to, like... A part of me wants to find that really weird, but I guess it's not weird. It's just...
It's like kind of a life.
It's a way to
hack,
get
I
your
guess.
drink into you. It's nothing wrong with the straw.
You don't want to stain your teeth. It's understandable. I feel
Yeah.
like. Yeah. Okay. Do you have any genuine fears or phobias? And if so, how do you manage them?
Phobias, like something...
Something that like legitimately scares the shit out of you, and
Like getting on stage in front of a bunch of stage strangers.
which is
That's
a lot
fine.
of people's phobia. I'm sure you've.
I
Heard
thought
that
there was
too.
a
I could
fear.
never
It's
do
just,
that.
it's just something I had to get used to. I'm trying to like think of a fear because I think of like Maury and them coming out with like a box of cotton balls and the lady running away in fear.
Oh yeah, I saw.
I'm trying to think like I don't do that with like, I guess maybe like house centipedes.
Oh yeah,
I don't want to
Kelly,
touch
my
those.
wife is the exact.
I don't
same.
want to touch those things. I don't mind a spider.
The house centipede. I was always pretty quick to squish them too because they just are very.
Those are the only
unnerving.
ones that have to die.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
then I
killing
saw
a
something on
spider.
Facebook
I'm not
that
killing a
said
beetle.
they're doing great upkeep of your house and killing other bugs. And
Okay, that's
apparently
great. But if you have a housekeeper who does a great job, but they're a big scary monster, they gotta go. I don't care if you're cleaning my house. You're scaring the hell out of me. You're crawling up my wall. Crawling out of my pipes.
I didn't kill him. I saved him and put him outside.
I kill them.
Yeah.
I don't like to kill them, but centipedes have to go.
Do you save other ones like spiders and shit? sometimes?
I will leave a spider alone.
Oh, you just let them.
But if you scurry very fast, no. If you just crawl and chill, you're just like, yeah.
you're
Or
in
just
the
stay in the
shower,
corner.
I'm not feeling
When a
that.
spider's in the shower, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I know you're like a.
Find a better hiding
You're not a
spot,
human. You don't
asshole.
understand what a shower is, but you should understand this is not the place to be.
Yeah, I think
Now I
for
gotta
me,
spray you.
Spiders, I do appreciate their usefulness, but not long ago down here at one point I saw like a few of these little teensy weensy baby ones that were like
Well,
coming down
that's
from
scary
that
because
like
that means there's a big.
infestation or
Yeah.
something, and then I'm like, okay, now it's an issue. So thankfully that didn't turn out to be a
But
thing.
there's just one like little brown one in the corner of your
Yeah.
living room.
He's probably killing a fly.
I always just
that
like
gets
look
in
to
there.
see if it's still there, and then you look and it's not there, and you're like, oh boy.
I'd take him over fruit flies any day.
Yeah, I mean, fruit fly is just a reminder of how much you've fallen, how much you need to change.
I thought you were gonna say fall, like the season changing.
No, you're like, oh, I gotta do my dishes and I gotta find
Yeah, empty
whatever.
this fridge
I gotta
out.
find whatever is causing this.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a rotisserie chicken somewhere in my house.
I finally found a decent trap for those guys too that actually held up, which was like putting
Dish soap in a cup and
with apple cider vinegar.
apple vinegar.
Yeah, and mixing the two equal parts, and then the holes in a mason jar specifically, and yeah, it worked pretty quick.
They love it and they drown.
Yeah, they just die in their tasty treat. Although I'm sure
well.
the dish soap doesn't taste good, but
No,
have you almost ever died?
probably when I'm sleeping. I don't. Most likely.
No actual near-death experience, so to speak. You never had like a close call where you're like, holy shit.
I was in a bit of a car accident when I was a little kid. I was in the front and I bashed my head up pretty good.
Too young to be in the front.
7.
I
But
think they say like 12 or something, right? With the airbags.
The seatbelt chafed me because I was too short. So I like kind of like put it behind me. So I was pretty loose.
Yeah, I don't think that's where they go.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen.
Dude, to be fair, I remember lying down in the back seat when I
Sure,
was a
yeah.
kid. Like,
And my mom hit like an old man who was pulling out. And I think he got fucked up. I think he flew out of his
shit.
car.
Oh my! I thought you were gonna say he got mad or something.
He probably was mad. If he had consciousness, he'd be a little upset.
Yeah.
I think he's
So you actually hit your head and stuff, though. Damn. That must have been
bonked my
scary
head,
as a
got
kid.
X-rays.
Damn. But ultimately, turns out.
Ultimately,
you're
I'm
all
not
right.
that fucked up. I don't know what happened.
So yeah, that could have gone the other way, I suppose.
Maybe that's the closest, I guess.
Yeah. If he had pulled out, or if your mom had hit him a little on a different
I
angle. or
freaked
something,
out at a wave pool in Wonderland once, swallowed some water. My dad had to come get me,
like pull you out. You were falling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's scary.
yank
shit.
me out. I think that's about it.
I had one of those almost. Well, I say almost drowning because that's how I remember it, how scary it was. But it's truly a.
It probably wasn't that bad, but I was a kid and I was freaking out. But it probably wasn't that bad. I was probably just...
If it's at a place with a lifeguard, you probably would have been fine.
No, they were just standing there with a rope, and I'm like, I can't grab that right now. I'm
dying.
I'm having a moment.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever asked you that, Dad. Have you ever had a time where you thought you almost died? I feel like I probably would have heard about it, but you've lived a longer life than either of us.
Yeah, not traumatic enough that it instantly springs to mind, I guess. I'm sure I've had some had some accidents where I got pretty beat up, but yeah, when you pose the question though, like it doesn't immediately jump to my mind.
You never
Wow.
saw like your life flash before your eyes.
No.
I guess we can all count ourselves pretty lucky then.
Yep.
Not an exciting life.
Yeah.
We don't.
Hey man, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it doesn't make for electrifying podcast.
We're men of leisure, and we're safe.
Here's a random one. Could you, if you could snoop through one notable person's personal life, who would it be and why? I mean,
Anyone?
Diddy comes to mind.
Oh, I guess, yeah, I was going to...
That's something that's happened in the months we've been not recording.
You probably wouldn't want to look at all that.
Yeah,
No,
I was gonna say,
I-
that'd probably be shocking, disturbing
You'd
shit.
get upset after a while. It wouldn't be as fun.
Trump, kind of same deal.
Well, you probably, like, pick someone fun. You'd probably want to look through Hunter S. Thompson shit.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Just picture someone I like.
Or somebody that like you're really curious about part of their life that maybe they were secretive of. That's,
Maybe. Or someone you know.
Well, no, I don't think I would get that person. It has to be someone famous or notable.
I'd want
I
to
think
look
that's
through,
more
like,
fun.
an artist's, like, sketchbook or something. Someone I like an old animator, like Jim Henson or something.
That's cool. That's a great
Yeah,
answer.
just look at their old ideas and the stuff that they drew
Storyboarding.
out that gave them their ideas.
Well, yeah, because you seen some of the OG illustrations for the Star Wars characters? Like Chewbacca looked so weird.
Oh yeah, those like really nice concept arts.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they're well done, but they're kind of goofy.
Looked
some of
really
the design.
cheesy. It looked like prog rock album covers. Yeah.
That's something I wish would come back. Well, that, but
I
also
kind of
the,
that aesthetic is a little back with some musicians, I think.
I was gonna say, I hope they come back with the vans with the giant
Oh,
airbrush
that
murals on the
that
side.
might be long gone. That might.
Those vans are, I guess, not really popular anymore.
You see those type of people once in a while, but I don't think there's enough of them to buy vans.
Start a movement.
Start a movement.
Or yeah, maybe they can't afford a van. Shit. Okay, but well, I don't know. Dad, you can weigh in on any of these, by the way.
I've got one for you.
Shooting this shit up. So, oh yeah, if you got a question for sure.
Yeah. So, if you had to start a cult, what would your cult be?
Oh my god, they're always about sex? Or
Well, I'm
religion,
really
usually.
It's all about like just the leader having sex with everyone and then everyone dying. So I want to stray away from that. Try something new.
Rebrand. Yeah.
Maybe just start a cult and then slowly make everyone realize, haha, this is actually like we're gonna go help the homeless. We're not actually a cult at all. Church, yeah.
trick.
Because I don't want to be. I don't like cults. I don't like that whole.
I don't think you were
Being a
implying that it
leader.
has to be sinister or anything, right?
That could be a nice cult.
but yeah,
are there nice
word
cults?
Cult kind of infers that it's gonna.
Are there wholesome cults? That
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's the question, I think. Yeah.
Or maybe we
just
don't
slowly
hear
become a
about those.
charity.
You could start something new, like start a wholesome cult. I mean, Hare Krishna is that a cult? I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just don't want to take people's money, and I don't want to trick people into sex.
Yeah,
So maybe I'll just join UNICEF instead.
or we could do like the cult of good intentions, where we all get together and talk about ways we want to change the world, but then we don't actually do any of them.
Okay. I think I already am in that cult. I think-
I think actually a lot of people in
Yeah.
the world are in that cult, and I just haven't accepted it. What is the craziest rumor that you've ever heard about yourself?
Nothing crazy. One time a friend in college, I don't know why, he's a pretty chill guy, but for some reason, and this stuck around for a while, that he just started telling everyone that I'm adopted and have 2 lesbian moms. And I don't. He just started telling people that in class. And then like a year later, someone was like, wait, you don't? I believed that the whole time. He told me. I'm like, why would he tell? Because he's such the nicest guy. I thought it was pretty funny that he would just say that for no reason.
Someone or
I think he just said it to be funny. He just started saying it.
and then he just stuck by it for whatever reason.
I think he just told people, and people just believed it and just kind of stuck for like a little while.
They just thought you were from this really progressive family.
Yeah, and I guess people see me. I guess they just believe it. I guess it
could've
comes
been
off that
raised
it,
by a
this guy
lesbian
could have
couple.
been raised by 2 lesbians. I
don't
guess
think
I could.
that's a bad thing, you know.
No,
You do have a warm, loving nature about you. Which
like
I think-
lesbians, yeah, very warm people.
I meant more like feminine energy, but
I have feminine energy.
well, no, I just meant
Wait, cover
feminine
my
energy is warm and loving. That's all
I'm a
I was
loving.
trying to say.
Okay.
For the record, I would consider myself to have feminine energy more than masculine. I would say, at least in a lot of instances.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at least with what we grew up with, right? Like what was masculine in the
expectations.
90s,
Yeah.
and early 2000s. It was like getting laid is the most important thing. Sports, fucking don't talk about pussy ass shit. You know, it's like
That's all we've been talking about for the last hour.
Yeah. I've just always, I don't know, gravitated
Candy
towards-
bars and cartoons.
I like to express myself, and I feel like in the day and age that I was a youth, that was more of like a
Yeah, I know what you
feminine
mean.
quality to be like opening up and talking about your feelings and not being ashamed about
We
it.
grew up around the action movie era,
Yeah, the tough guy kind of vibe, and well,
where I thought throwing someone through a window was an easier feat than it actually is.
yeah,
You could just
it was pretty much
people just fell through a window and just stood up and went, "Ugh, that sucked."
Yeah, real life, you get pretty bloody.
little
It's
cut up,
no
you die.
candy glass kind of situation. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's good that things have changed, but the thing that I'm really happy has changed is the movies around like the late 90s, early 2000s that were just like so like it's okay to be like roofing chicks and like that whole
that kind
like
of shit.
anything at the cost of getting fucking laid, you know?
Oh, like those teen boner comedies, like
Kind of,
Porky's and
yeah,
stuff.
Well, and on into like
and
American,
into American Pie.
which like I watched it like everyone else. It's not a terrible.
that one where
movie,
they
but
spied on that woman getting naked on the webcam,
broadcasted across the whole school. Yeah, I mean, yeah, fuck pies all you want. That's
Yeah,
fine.
fuck. Eugene Levy was cool with it.
Yeah,
He sat him down and he said, "It's all right.
no, it's
We'll tell Mom we ate it." That was probably the only funny joke in the movie.
yeah. I don't know if it would hold up. The first one it probably still has some charm, but it was when they made like the spin-offs, Stifler's Sixth Brother.
Oh yeah, they made like a bunch of DVD sequels.
I'm always worried we've talked about this before, but yeah, it's one thing that I really, really like that has shifted is like that's not a cool, like that's not just a category in film.
Yeah, I never cared for those ones.
Frat
just
boy.
yeah, there's probably some I liked, but I never really liked the American Pies all that much.
No.
And the
But there was a lot of them around that.
road
you know?
trips and Euro trip. Really, so I hated that one so much.
I remember liking it. I have not seen it since I was young. Like that's one that Scotty doesn't know,
Scotty doesn't know,
and that's all I. Really
and he's like,
remember.
he's
Matt Damon was the singer.
He's
I
like
remember that.
emailing this woman from Europe, and then
Oh,
for
no
like
one
10
believes
seconds,
she's real,
then for
or-
10 seconds he thinks he's been talking to a guy, so he freaks out and sends him a horrible email and blocks her, and then he realizes no, that is a woman, and then that's the whole movie.
And then they go to meet her. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
And all his buddies just tag along, and one of
And
their
yeah,
sisters.
and a bunch of dumb sex jokes. Yeah,
Yeah, the brother and the sister make out.
They
at
make
one
out,
point.
isn't that
Yeah,
hilarious?
Okay, it's coming back to me. Yeah, Road Trip was better than that.
your road trip was better than that. Starring Ottawa's Tom Green,
Yeah.
not starring, I guess, but
Also,
he was in there.
What's his name?
DJ Qualls.
God, I forgot about him. He had like a really, really busy career for like 5 years.
He did.
and
He
then
had that. He had the new
fell
guy.
off. No, I was talking about Breckenmeyer.
Who's Breckenmeyer?
He's the guy who was in the Garfield movie in the early.
Oh, that
2000s. He
guy.
played John. Yeah.
Wasn't he in like Scream or something?
I don't think so.
Okay, well I know that guy. He's in a bunch of stuff.
I hope whoever watches this episode likes
There's
movies
so
and
many
television, 'cause
basic looking
otherwise,
white
well,
people in the late '90s. There's so many just blonde women.
Well, the other thing about the 90s is I feel like, not to body shame anyone, but if anything, they were body shaming people. Like back in the 90s.
Oh, that was big. Yeah, fat jokes in the early 2000s. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was going the other way too,
90s?
about that girls were expected to all be like as thin as Kate Moss, and that's,
yeah,
that's
that
what
was that
in.
too.
Like, I thank God now that like curvy women is like something that's being appreciated.
That's on its way out. I read the other day it's basketball women. They have
Tall?
tall and
Runway model type.
yeah, like a
vibe?
little bit of curves, but going back to real thin. It's going to bring back the whole.
Isn't saying
on women
any
is-
one body type is in kind of like a ridiculous.
Well, it's
Oh, yeah,
It's
because
the fashion
they're all
industry.
there.
Yeah,
They're,
Well,
they're
yeah.
not going anywhere.
And everybody's gets their crank going for different.
Sure.
You know,
well, it's
You can
driven
crank
by
it
the
to anything.
fashion industry, right?
yeah, it's just
all
a little
about money.
ludicrous, is
It's-
all I'm
yeah.
saying. To be like, oh, tall basketball ladies are in. It's like,
Yeah.
well, if you're not attracted to that, it's not going to change just because you
Did
read
you hear?
about it.
You want to fuck tall basketball women now? I do.
Yeah, it just seems so asinine. But anyways, what's a mystery you'd like to get to the bottom of?
God, there's so many dumb conspiracies. I would just like one to come out that a really dumb one is true. Like a really ridiculous dumb one.
Like birds aren't real.
That would suck.
Well, that don't even get me started. That's so.
I'd love a bird.
The guy who started that has gone on record saying it was just a big joke. And
I mean,
he just
I would
took it as
assume
far
a
as he
lot of
could.
those ones.
There's actually, I listened to on some podcast, they interviewed the guy who started the birds aren't real thing. And because he got on like morning talk shows and stuff like that with like, you know, the morning crew, like Katie and Janine, but like video, like news channels. And there's one where he did the interview and he willingly did it when he was like super sick with the flu and chose to drink like lukewarm milk during the interview because he knew it would make him like throw
make
up
him look-
halfway
oh.
through.
Oh, he threw
like,
up.
barfed in the middle on live TV. Like he was just trolling as hard as he could with this thing.
Good for him.
But the fucked up part is there's still, to this day, so many people that take that, run with it, and they're like, no, there's fucking cameras and the birds, they're drones, the government.
There's got to be at least like like literally a few.
Oh, like,
Not even a few hundred, like 3 guys that actually believe it. But they're crazy.
I would easily say there's 100 or more.
Okay.
If you're talking about the whole world, man, all it takes is the internet spreading around to the wrong
Fair
ideas
enough.
to the wrong people, and there's
100. I'll give them 100.
Maybe
There's 100
100.
people that think birds don't exist, even though they're everywhere.
well, they're saying the birds are everywhere, but they're not real birds.
They're robotic.
They're like some sort of drone that's for surveillance.
What about
Since at some
fucking
point-
nightingales from the 1700s?
I think they were swapped out at some point.
So the birds all died.
Yeah, and I've heard people say like at night they charge their batteries and shit like this. I don't know, man. People are smoking some crazy
If that was
shit.
true, that'd be fun, I guess.
Yeah,
But it would be fun if, like, without a doubt, we found out that dinosaurs actually didn't exist.
There's a lot of people.
It just turns out those
unfortunately,
rocks
too.
just somehow look like a skeleton.
Well, they were planted there by the devil, don't you know?
To test our faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Earth's only 5,000 years old. Like, how could? And carbon dating's a sham.
Mm-hmm.
So you know.
So I'd like one of the really dumb, or like one of the really dumb celebrity rumors to be real. Like, what's that one about Rod Stewart having like gallons of cum pumped out of his stomach? If that was real, that'd be really cool.
That's an actual rumor.
Was it Rod Stewart or someone I heard?
I think
that's what I
might have
hear
heard
about.
something.
Or
what's his name with the
with a gerbil up his ass. What's his name?
Richard
Gere.
Richard Gere. Yeah.
Yeah.
You heard that one, right?
If he finally comes out and says, "Yeah, I did it. Leave me alone," I'd be like, "Nice, it's
Or,
true."
Yeah, I did it, and I still have him. He's fine.
He puts his ass to the microphone. It's okay, guys. I'm fine.
Yeah, I don't know. How does something like that get started? I guess back in when there wasn't the internet, it was like
I think it's just maybe like jaded people that worked with him or knew him. Just they don't like them.
get this out to my publicist instead.
Fire me, will you?
Richard Gere hits emergency room.
How dare you, Richard Gere? I'm gonna tell everyone you stick stuff up your butt.
Man, poor guy. What a shitty rumor. Like, because by all accounts, I think he's a nice guy. I haven't never really seen anything bad about him. So to have that, like,
I'm
you're
fine
the
with people
guy-
sticking stuff up their butt, but if it's a live animal, that's
yeah.
brood.
That's bestiality.
That's animal. That's animal abuse. I think it's more animal abuse than bestiality.
Yeah, I don't think the animals
You're
really
not
digging
having
that.
sex with the animal. You're just kind of ruining its day.
Yeah. Well, gerbils like to explore. I'm sure it might be actually fun for the gerbil. I mean, not for the man. Well,
I think
it might be
it's-
fun for
isn't-
him too, but it's all wrong.
I don't even think it's true. I think that whole people doing that thing is a rumor self. But
Yeah, I
I
don't
hear it's
think anyone's
because
done that.
they run back to it and try to scratch out of the butthole, and that feels good. And that's not real. People don't do that.
Oh my god! Well, there was an old torture that they used to do with something similar, right? Where they would put like a bucket of rats on your stomach or something.
It
and
turns
then
out they like
put a
it.
Heat on the top. And
Quit doing it. He likes the rats.
Oh, what? He's getting off.
Yeah.
there?
Ooh.
Those would be starving rats in the torture they used to do it.
Yeah. So that's actually something that happened.
Eat into
Oh,
the
for
bowels.
sure.
Yeah.
Good Lord, imagine that. That's got to be one of the worst ways you could possibly die.
Yeah.
That's another good question.
Well, what's the
The
last way you would want to die?
The worst torture device.
Rat stomach.
The worst way to die.
Yeah. End of discussion.
We
Rat
settled
stomach.
it.
What would you rather be on the rack or be in the Iron Maiden?
The
Or,
quickest
you know,
one.
The quickest one.
I don't know what the quickest torture
I think
is.
they're all. I think torture by its nature is like make it last as long as possible.
There was one
Set me
that
on
I read
fire.
about where it was like a giant statue of like an iron bull, and they would put the person inside and heat it up so much that like when the heat would get hot enough, the bull's snout would make like a whistling noise or something, like a kettle that was boiling or something along those lines. Yeah, pretty grim.
Man, people were bored back then.
I
Kill them.
dude.
Get rid of them.
I still find it fucking insane that people are capable of that shit. Like, we're not even addressing all the horrible shit that's happening in the world right now, you know, but which conspiracy theory again, that's a lot of people are like, that's why this Diddy stuff flares
You
up.
ever meet people?
They're just a distraction. And
You ever
know,
meet people and you get to know them enough and you go, wow, if we were still in a world where you're allowed to like do that, you would love it, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
There's some people that are just like,
They're
like, dictators that never got the chance to be a dictator, so they have to run a library and just be a jerk about it, or manage a restaurant.
They're one
and be a jerk
societal
about it.
breakdown from like,
And I think deep down they would just like to be a tyrant.
yeah, you do definitely come across people like that.
It's fun because they aren't that because they don't want to be. They're not that because they don't have the power. And it's like they're just a horrible person who has to go to work every day.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fucked up. I mean, everyone does make mistakes.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how people can just become completely evil, where they're like, we're going to make all these other people kill each other, and we're just doing it for money. This thing that we all know doesn't last forever. You're going to die one day. You're going to have to.
That must be it.
Maybe they're all atheists, and they're just like,
They know they'll die one day.
Never
So
going to have
this,
to
is,
atone
this is all
for
we
this.
got. So let's make some money, and who cares?
I don't know. It's just mind blowing to me. I don't know, and so
I don't think we're in a spot to get into the minds of psychopaths. I think we're just two normal schlubs.
Yeah, I guess it makes me feel better about my own.
Yeah, we just talk
shortcomings.
about. You know what? We have shortcomings, but we're not evil.
We're not Hitler.
We're not.
Yeah, I don't know. But going back to what I had said, I have been seeing a lot of people saying that like, oh, every time that there's like wars and shit going on, that's when all this like crazy celebrity drama comes up, and it just gets people's attention off of like stuff that's equally heinous, you know? And I guess like, I don't know if I can say that's true or not, but it certainly seems like.
Are we at a point where we can say stop making artists famous because they go nuts and they start trafficking women and going nuts and hurting people?
Yeah, Diddy. Man.
Artists
Oh my
should not
God.
have power.
I wonder what the real story is with that guy.
I've hardly touched the surface because it's just.
All you see is these lists of people that they're saying.
Some days you just kind of want
to.
to just stop reading horrible news, and I'll get to it, I guess.
Well, if you click on it, then they start showing you more stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
it's just,
I've
and then
already
I'm in a
noticed
rabbit
that.
hole.
Yeah.
I know he has a big room of lube,
No, baby oil.
a lot of baby oil. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, baby oil.
Or and lube, probably both.
He probably has all sorts
Crisco,
of creams and jellies,
whatever works.
Yeah,
whatever makes things slip and slide. Yeah. Oh God. Well, we'll see if some empire falls, but it is kind of noticeable that like it's this maybe big distraction. It sounds conspiracy-esque to say that, but like.
you mean when it finally comes out?
No, I just mean that people are talking about Diddy instead of like thousands of people dying for months on end in several parts of the world. You know, it's just, I don't know. Where the fuck are
I
our
guess
priorities?
it's easier to. Well, not easier. It's still horrible, but it's.
It is, yeah, because I'm like, who am I? I'm doing a fucking podcast. I'm not helping the Palestinians. I don't know.
No, but you're also not trafficking women, I don't think.
No.
Yeah.
God, no. Only gerbils.
Only gerbil. Okay, we're transporting them. At Richard Gere's place?
Across, international
The
borders.
Hollywood.
He likes those Taiwanese gerbils.
You know, it must suck, though, because he can't even walk into a pet store now without the paparazzi. Like, what if, like, his kid wants a new puppy and he's like, I can't do it. We'll have to
for
order it.
30
There's no
years.
fucking way I'm walking into a PetSmart.
Yeah, PetSmart. Oh, well, thankfully for him, they're going out of style now. People are all the PetSmarts or not PetSmart, but pet stores in malls and stuff.
It's kind of like the same thing as zoos.
They're like puppy
just kinda-
mills. They're viewed as like really shitty.
I always
now.
felt so bad. They were in these boxes all day.
Yeah, it is kind of fucked. I mean, fish, I don't really think they have the wherewithal to
They just
give
don't
a
have
shit.
eyebrows to show you if they're concerned or not. That's the
This
whole
is true.
thing.
They don't have the facial.
If you always look surprised, you can never tell how you're feeling.
But haven't they proven that like very small fish have like such short memories that they're not going to have enough time to ruminate on anything?
Yeah, because you see a sad monkey and it's just kind of there, like just trying to get over it.
So
It takes a while.
You do
but
see,
a fish just keeps swimming.
I did see a fucking thing with a gorilla that was like carrying its dead baby around, and it was super in mourning.
That's so sad.
So like there is some truth to that.
I'd rather watch, when they go to the zoo and they show like apes magic tricks. They do like a card trick for an ape and then they go
through the glass
and they start banging on the glass. That's great. I like that.
That is awesome. I saw some zoo in China. They were showing that they got busted because they were painting these big dogs to look like pandas. They like kind of looked like pandas, but they didn't.
Like Saint Bernards?
Something big like that. I can't remember which breed it was, but they had a really poofy look. They kind of looked like they had trimmed it to look like a bear, but they just painted them.
I'd see that.
Yeah. Well, there was that other thing last year where there was a guy that
dressed as a panda.
I don't think it was a panda. It was like some other animal. I want to say like a large cat or something, but it turned. I don't know. I'm not going to bring
Called
that.
a furry.
I'll put a picture of it, even though I don't remember what I'm talking about. But I can't really speak too much to it because I'm forgetting all the details. But yeah, there was some guy they were saying was posing as like one of the animals in the exhibit. And
now, is this part of the zoo, or did he sneak in and get away with it?
I think he was. I can't remember if it turned out to be a hoax or something in the end.
Sounds
or
hoaxy
like a
to me.
publicity stunt.
That's the conspiracy theory I want to figure out. Let's get down to this. Is there a man cat in the zoo?
Answers. Oh my god! Yeah. Sorry, Richard Gere.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy.
Got pushed out. Do you have a book that's had a profound impact on you?
Huh?
The Bible.
The Bible. The Old Testament.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, we
You're
didn't
rich.
talk about if you were religious growing up.
No, we weren't religious at all. No, we didn't grow up with any religion.
The Book of
I
TV.
remember. I think our family tried to go to church when we first moved into the small town, just to get in with the neighbors. But we never ever talked about God or anything. I remember being in church once. I thought we were at a concert. I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea what a church was.
Krispy Squares.
Yeah. A book. I read a lot of like graphic novels. I was really into, Harvey P. Carr, American Splendor.
I've heard that name.
Yeah.
I thought that was a movie or something.
It's based off of him.
Oh, okay.
And I got into that when I was a very cynical teenager. It's just an old man doing autobiographical stories. He writes them. He has other people draw for him, like Robert Crumb drew for him. They were buddies.
I know him.
So I was really into that, and it just got me into just like, because it's just like there's no fantasy. It's just his life. It's just a boring, mundane thing. And I just thought it was cool that he could make that interesting. He didn't have to jazz it up. It was just
And
him.
the movie American Splendor, is that about his life?
It's about him and doing his comics.
It's like a biopic.
It's a biopic, and it kind of mixes genres. It's that, then it cuts to like an interview of the real Harvey P. Carr.
That's almost what I thought you were going to say as far as a book. I thought you might have said like a certain comedian's biography.
I never read those. I only read Norm Macdonald's. I never read those. I don't know. I was never into that type of stuff. I read a lot of
Tom Green's
fiction.
back in the day.
He had one? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was
Hollywood
like-
gave me cancer.
Yeah, it was early mid 2000s
Yeah,
or something.
I
I
remember
read Bruce Willis's biography when I was a kid for like a book report.
Really?
Yeah, he had a lisp growing up, which I found was very interesting.
Was this like the 90s? When didn't he write this?
Oh yeah, this was.
Was this before
this
Pulp
is not his
Fiction?
newest release. Oh, I thought you were making a dementia joke.
Oh, no. He wrote it now?
Yeah, I thought you were
Oh,
like,
no.
is this like a bestseller?
It's in Wingdings.
Oh god, that's mean. I feel bad
It is
laughing
mean.
at
Sorry,
that.
Bruce.
Yeah,
Sorry,
well,
Willis family.
Again, yeah. I mean, it's not.
It is
we
mean,
know
but
him. Yeah, well, and
got to make jokes,
Yeah,
even though it is
exactly.
a horrible thing.
I laugh when I'm
I
uncomfortable.
wouldn't say I'm I was never a
death
huge
and-
fan of him, but he seems like an all right. Actually, no, I heard he's a jerk, but whatever. Most people are. I don't care if a celebrity is a jerk anymore. If they don't traffic women, don't kill people, don't do horrible things, don't abuse people, that's fine. I don't care if you're a jerk.
Yeah.
Be a jerk. Chevy Chase, be an asshole. I don't care. Old
Oh,
man.
I've heard some bad stories.
Oh,
about
he's
him.
pretty. Even his friends have to admit he's an asshole.
Yeah, and it is sad to see what's happened to Bruce Willis. That's the only reason I kind of veered back. It's easy to laugh at stuff, but man, yeah, he seemed like such a powerful dude who had his wits about him, and a solid actor and all
Yeah.
that. And to just see somebody, and what's even worse is like that social media like follows him and takes pictures of him while he's like falling apart, and it just seems.
What's
kinda-
even worse, yeah, he had to do like some like cheap action movies when he was like going through it.
Okay,
I guess just
so-
maybe to make some money. I'm sure it was his and family's choice.
Segue.
That's what it was, just making a ton of bank
Yeah.
while he could.
Oh,
So
I
I
thought
get
you were
that.
going to say, because we had a guy on the podcast, Simon Phillips, he's been on The Witcher, and he's got some new horror movies out. He's pretty solid, like as far as his body
I
of
remember
work.
that.
And he did a movie with Bruce Willis during that, sundown era where his career was just all these quick to DVD, sort of not even getting theatrical release kind of thing. And he didn't tell it, like when we did the podcast, he was polite and he was still polite about it afterwards, but he did tell us afterwards that, he noticed that Bruce was having these things and that apparently behind the scenes, it was already known that he's getting ready to retire because he's having these mental comprehension and memory issues and stuff. And like a week after that, the news broke like globally. So I remember feeling,
Yeah, it's really quick.
we
So I
had
get that saving a
little
lot
inside
of money before you start to.
Yeah,
I
he's
get
got
that,
a
but
lot
it
of
still
kids
sucks
and-
that he has to. That's how
Yeah.
he's ending his career.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
But that's definitely what they did. He churned out like about 8 movies in 2 years. And they were a lot the same.
None of them have good reviews.
No, and they're all the same. He's some cop on a revenge bent or, one of these sorts of things that he could just knock off.
Yeah, and
still.
Simon told us that like by the end of the day on set, he was always like he had to go home kind of thing for his nap or
Wasn't there
whatever.
even something about somebody had to put lines on their chest, and he'd be looking at them and
That was the thing. Marlon Brando, I heard, used to
Had
do
to
that,
do that?
back in
Well,
the day.
that's
but
more
I get
fun
my
because he just
stories
went
mixed
nuts at the
he
end.
just did it to be
Yeah.
Like with the Isle of
I
Dr.
don't have to
Moreau.
memorize this.
yeah.
You ever watch that documentary
No.
about the making of the Island of Dr. Moreau?
No, not
You
at
should
all.
watch that one.
Okay.
It was insane.
Just like he was like a crazy person.
It took so long to film. It was taking so much longer. The director was fired, but then he snuck back in the set dressed as one of the animal extras. And Marlon
guy from the
Brando,
zoo.
yeah, like the Panther Man. Maybe it was him.
Tiger Man or whatever he is.
And then Marlon Brando was making these weird decisions, like he wanted that little midget guy to be his friend,
Okay,
and he wanted to wear an ice bucket on his head.
interesting.
Yeah,
I've never seen the actual movie, so I don't have a lot of context.
it was on TV a lot. It sucks. It was terrible.
Well, he has had a lot of controversy, right? Because didn't he like basically sexually assault a woman?
Marlon Brando.
Last Tango in Paris or something? Is that the movie? But I know years later,
That is the movie.
she wrote a biography or something and said that him and this other person just kind of made her have actual sex, which is in the film, I think.
that he shoved a stick of butter up her ass.
Yeah, I didn't really even want to go there.
Oh, God, back to Richard Gere.
If you're like, oh God,
That's to
I'm
feed the
getting
gerbil.
turned on. No, I didn't know where you were going with that. Your reaction seemed like it could go either way.
That's just because at that point, that's just you're humiliating a person, and you're just.
Oh yeah,
it's
that's
not
egregious.
Yeah.
Ugh. Let's
Stupid
pivot
Brando.
from that. Butter up the ass. Have you ever met one of your heroes? And if so, how did it go?
I wouldn't say I met a hero. I've met comics that I grew up really admiring and really liked, and that was nice.
Like got to work with, or just like
Not really. Like I met Jeremy Hotz once, which was a big deal because I really liked his stuff when I was a kid. He used to make me laugh really hard.
He was
So it was
just
nice
for
to
laughs
meet
a lot.
him. It was nice to meet him at Yucks once. But I've never really met anyone I consider a hero. I think all my heroes were dead by the point I was an adult.
I can relate
Like
to
Jim
that.
Henson. He was
Okay.
dead when I was like 5.
Yeah, he was what, early 2000s?
He was 1990.
Oh, 1990. Damn, I
Yeah,
was totally wrong.
yeah. I think he had something like pneumonia, and he didn't go to the hospital.
Yeah, it was a sudden illness like that. You're right. Yeah,
he didn't
I
go.
remember
He
that.
refused to go to the hospital. I think he was raised Christian Scientist. That might have had something to do with it, or maybe he was just being a stubborn guy. But yeah, he just didn't seek medical help for what he got, and he just died.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
Well-
So I never met him.
So let's just say that would be who you'd want to meet if you could.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Right.
There's something about Jim Henson, just something about his creativity, but also everyone around him, he allowed to be creative. And he was never like, he was the head guy, but he was always let people be creative. And he'd always, that's just the people around him.
Like
Because
collaborative dude.
he got Frank Oz out of that.
Yeah.
And he
Yoda.
directed some cool movies.
And Yoda.
And he's Yoda. Yeah.
That's how I know him best.
Yeah, Yoda.
Yeah. That's a big one. That's a.
And Grover.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's Grover. He's
I didn't know he was
He's
Grover.
Miss Piggy. He's Fozzie Bear.
Crazy.
He's Sam the Eagle.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I only ever knew that he was Yoda.
Well, Grover sounds like Yoda.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I probably should have put that
Just
together.
the second I heard Yoda, I'm like, oh, it's the same dude.
Yeah,
It has to
I
be.
never researched him. Interesting. Okay, well, I guess we'll wrap it because we've probably been going for a little while, right? What are we at?
An hour 45.
Yeah, we should probably.
That sounds good. Yeah.
We got to drive back downtown and shit.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the last question is the season 5 question. You'll be one of the last to get it, which is if you could relive a memory from your life. Like you can go back, relive it. You can't change the past.
I just have to relive it.
Yeah, you get to re-experience something that you really enjoyed, but you can't change it.
Well, I'm going to say something sad, like a childhood Christmas with all my dead relatives and something.
Oh, I mean, that's not that bad.
That's the real answer. I'd relive like
I don't think that's it. It's a little cliche, I guess.
But it's cliche because that's what else would I do?
it's sweet. That's
First time I had
it's
sex,
okay to
that would suck. I wouldn't do that again.
well, maybe the best sex you've ever had or something.
Well, it's yet to come. I can't go to the future. Gotta have good sex
I
first.
like your optimism. Okay. Well, that's a fun note to end it on, I guess.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out, man. Thanks
course.
for doing this. It was really nice to be able to hang, like I told you. After not doing it for a while, it's cool to be able to sit down with someone that I already felt like I knew pretty well and was really comfortable hanging out with.
Yeah,
so
man.
I do appreciate that, and good to see you, Dad. I mean, I see you in our regular life as well, but it's fun to see you back in the studio. And anyone who's checking this out, whether you're listening to this or watching it, thank you, because sometimes I wonder if you're out there, and clearly I waver on whether I should keep doing this or not. So send those fucking emails, even if it's just like, yeah, good job. I have surprisingly low self-esteem. Good night, everyone. All right. Bye. Thanks for watching.